Chat group, I obtained the Saiyan Bloodline from the start. Hey, Fanfic family. So glad to see you here again to continue this incredible adventure. As always, kindly remember, this story is 100% fiction, so don't go looking for dimensional portals in your closet. All rights to this fantastic novel belong to the original author. We're just your humble narrators of epic tales. Are you enjoying the fanfic? Show it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and dropping us a like. And if you're impatient for more exclusive content, our Patreon is your happy place. Chapter 1: A world with only one human. Brain storage. Dem. Xiaoqi cursed, looking at the world before him, which was no different from the one he'd lived in before. He was truly devastated. He had been a happy surface resource explorer and developer in the Department of Geology, commonly known as an excavator driver. Driven by his manly dreams, Xiaoqi, the seventh child in his family, went to Maoxiang school alone after finishing junior high, despite everyone's family's objections, and enrolled in the excavator program. For over 3 years, Xiaoqi had consistently topped the school in both theoretical and practical classes. Coupled with his somewhat cool and handsome appearance, he became Maoxiang school's hallmark. Because of his outstanding performance, the school not only waived all his tuition but also assigned him a job after his graduation yesterday. However, on his first day, Xiaoqi's vehicle overturned, sending him and his excavator tumbling down a hillside dozens of meters high. Tomorrow was his 19th birthday. Just when Xiaoqi thought he was doomed, a mechanical voice suddenly echoed in his head. Good news, he'd traveled through time. Bad news, the system told him he was the only human in this world. So, what's the point of traveling to a world like this, waiting to die? Does this count as flashing and relocating a grave? After an hour of wandering without spotting a single soul, Xiaoqi was completely paralyzed. While the buildings and everything else in his current city were still there, and the department store had food, clothing, and other necessities, he was the only human there. Not even an animal was to be found. It's common knowledge that humans are social creatures. Long periods of abstaining from human interaction, beyond the obvious, would definitely lead to autism. Besides, while drinking water wouldn't be a concern, food has an expiration date. What would he do if the food ran out? He'd never even killed a chicken in his life. Would that be putting Fat Tiger in a difficult position? Thinking of this, Xiaoqi suddenly felt like he might as well have just died. At least that way, his family could get some compensation. Oh, right. I remember when I traveled here, the system told me there was a big gift package, but I had to chant the right slogan. But what was that slogan? Xiaoqi tried to recall the system's previous prompt. After a while, Xiaoqi finally remembered that the slogan the system had told him about was related to something he often read. In his free time, Xiaoqi mostly read various anime and novels about the same genre, both Chinese and Japanese. Therefore, he was well versed in things like time travel and systems. So, give me strength, I am He-Man, burn, my little universe, I want to be the man of One Piece, I want to be the man of Naruto, coach, I want to play basketball, I believe in light, Aruit, quickly get down to the tragedy tower. Xiaoqi stood on the street and started mumbling nonsense. As for embarrassment? Not a possibility. He was the only one in this world, so he could shout whatever he wanted. However, after shouting for a long time, the system showed no response. Unconvinced, Xiaoqi took a few breaths and continued shouting, "You've already got your own way. 30 years on the east side of the river, 30 years on the west side of the river. Don't look down on the young and poor. I want to overturn the very sky, damn it." Tired of shouting, Xiaoqi took a few sips of the mineral water he had taken from the mall and cursed angrily. This slogan can't be like. Who has the best mining technology? A certain Xiang school is here to help. They have excellent technology and guaranteed quality. You're trustworthy. Correct command. Congratulations to the host for successfully opening the gift package. Gift package 1. Please choose one of the slogans you just read and shout it out loud within 1 minute. The system will randomly draw a reward from that world. Exceeding this time will result in a loss. Plop. Xiaoqi dropped the mineral water bottle in his hand. He had been shouting like an idiot for a long time, only to find that the slogan was actually his alma mater's recruitment slogan. But now wasn't the time to be distracted. He had to quickly choose a world from the slogans he'd just recited. This was crucial to his survival. Aruit, quickly, get down to the tragedy tower. After some thought, Xiaoqi finally called out the slogan for the Dragon Ball world. The Dragon Ball combat system was one thing, but what really caught his eye was the fighting style. A real man would fight with real flesh, just like a real man would drive an excavator. Host's selection of the Dragon Ball world slogan has been confirmed. A random prize will be drawn. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Saiyan bloodline of a Saiyan and Earthling hybrid. The bloodline has automatically merged into the host. This. I'm a Saiyan now? Or a hybrid? Xiaoqi, having watched Dragon Ball countless times, naturally knew that the hybrid Saiyan bloodline referred to the Saiyan bloodline of Son Gohan and Son Goten in the original story. In terms of potential and talent, hybrid Saiyans surpass pure Saiyans. If you train well, you'll be a God fan. If you fail, you'll be a Nobita fan. Xiaoqi decided to begin training seriously tomorrow. He couldn't let such a great talent go to waste, since he was just sitting around doing nothing. Gift Pack 2, Chat Group loaded. Do you want to bind and create a chat room? Holy crap! A chat group. Xiaoqi's eyes lit up instantly, even the joy of having just gained mixed Saiyan blood faded to the background. With this thing, he wouldn't have to worry about playing alone anymore. He might even be able to invite his favorite female characters. Of course, there was a chance he'd become a character he hated, but it was better than being alone now. Thinking of this, Xiaoqi excitedly shouted, Bind now, create a chat room, Ling. Chat group created successfully, Ling. Xiaoqi joins the chat group, with a chime, a virtual panel that bore a 90% resemblance to a penguin group chat appeared before Xiaoqi's eyes. At the top of the panel were the chat group's name and the total number of members. In the upper right corner were the names and avatars of the group members. Currently, he was the only one, listed as a regular member. That's not right. According to the plot in novels, shouldn't I be the group owner or administrator? Xiaoqi muttered to herself before sending her first message. Xiaoqi, who has the best mining technology? It's definitely Xiaoqi, not bad. Being able to send messages with my thoughts is quite convenient. Xiaoqi nodded in satisfaction and began to explore the chat group's other features. In the upper left corner was a group announcement. When Xiaoqi clicked on it, it contained only a few words. Welcome new member to the group. The common currency in the chat group is points. Please explore how to earn points yourself. In the center was the chat box, which offered basic group functions like video, voice, and red envelopes. Below the chat box were several icons. The sign-in icon, as the name suggests, is used for group members to sign in. Group members can sign in once daily to earn points, ranging from 1 to 100. The Kiwi icon contains a full collection of Chinese and Japanese anime, sorted alphabetically. These are paid subscriptions, with each episode earning 1 point. If that's too expensive, you can opt for a monthly or annual subscription, priced at 498 points or 4,998 points, respectively. The trade icon allows group members to buy and sell items. The seller sets the price, and the chat group collects a 10% commission. The lottery icon, similar to a scratch-off lottery ticket, offers prizes including every item and move in the universe. Each draw costs 500 points, and you can either draw a single item or 10 consecutive times. The mall icon allows group members to sell unwanted items to the chat group for points. The chat group will assess the value of the item, but a 10% commission will be charged upon successful transaction. Group members can also purchase items from others in the mall without any additional fees. Xiaoqi curled her lips and said, how could this thing be so shady? He had finally figured it out. To become stronger, he had to constantly enter the lottery. As for the probability of winning, anyone who understood would understand. Ding. Congratulations, Xiaoqi, for signing in and earning 66 points. Not bad luck. If I could have one more 6, that would be even better. Besides the method of earning points, which still required her to explore on her own, Xiaoqi had almost fully understood all the other functions. So, the question arose, Xiaoqi, system, when can new members join the group? I can't be the only one in this group, right? You'll earn points only if there are more members. Reminder, after successfully creating a chat group, you'll receive one invitation from a group member. Subsequent invitations will be sent to members at random times, in random worlds, species, and number of members. Reminder, the search function automatically activates, and random group member invitations begin. Ding. Sakata Gintoki joins the chat group. Ding. Linglong joins the chat group. Ding. Sakuragi Hanamichi joins the chat group, ding. Zhu Zhuqing joins the chat group, ding. Nami joins the chat group. Chapter 2. My group members are a little funny. Wow, 2 funny guys and 3 gorgeous women are here. This is going to be interesting. Xiaoqi smiled at the new members of the chat group. He knew them all. Sakata Gintoki and Sakuragi Hanamichi were both incredibly funny, and they were going to be responsible for most of the group's laughs from now on. Zhu Zhuqing, the popular goddess from Dalu, whose greatest strength is known to everyone. Nami, the popular goddess from One Piece, whose greatest strength is her openness. As for Linglong, despite her limited role in Under One Person, her popularity hasn't diminished, thanks to her sweet and adorable looks. Linglong, a chat group? Could this be one of those chat groups I've seen in novels? Xiaoqi, yes, the kind that allows you to cross worlds. Surprisingly, aren't you, Linglong? Yeah, great. Now I have a cheat. I'm going to give my great-grandfather a run for his money. Xiaoqi, your grandfather is so lucky to have a granddaughter like you. Linglong, thank you for the compliment. By the way, why are the others silent? Xiaoqi, they're probably still observing. After all, their situations are different from ours, so they still need to adapt. Xiaoqi speculated that Linglong's quick adaptation to the chat group was probably due to the system having already populated her with relevant information the moment she was invited. However, for those in the worlds of One Piece and Dalu, this thing was simply too unfamiliar. As for Sakuragi Hanamichi, Xiaoqi remembered that Slam Dunk was set in the 1990s, when cell phones were still a rarity. Coupled with his limited intelligence, it would probably take him some time to adjust. The only thing that puzzled him was Sakata Gintoki. With the technology they had, he should have adapted quickly. Could something have happened? Sakata Gintoki. Xiaoqi, this. Xiaoqi finally understood why Sakata Gintoki had been silent. It turned out they had a language barrier. He and Linglong had been texting in Chinese, and the other party couldn't understand. Linglong, bird language? Could it be that this person called Sakata Gintoki is from the lower class? Xiaoqi, Jin-san is indeed from that place, as are Nami and Sakuragi Hanamichi. Zhu Zhuqing is the same as us. Linglong, you know so much? How are we going to chat in the future? You can't possibly ask me to learn another language, right? Xiaoqi, at least you can still learn it. I don't even have the chance. Linglong, huh? Why? Besides, can't you men learn the language there on your own? Xiaoqi, oh my god, so we're on the same page? How about we talk privately later? Linglong, damn it. You look like a serious person in your profile picture, but you're just like those other men. Zhu Zhuqing, all men are dirty. Xiaoqi, Zhuqing's sister, can you really understand what we are saying? Zhu Zhuqing, I don't know, but it's definitely not something nice. Also, don't call me Zhuqing, we're not that familiar. Xiaoqi. Seeing Zhu Zhuqing's cold tone, Xiaoqi smiled helplessly. Zhu Zhuqing's personality was indeed difficult to approach. Linglong, on the other hand, was more approachable. Linglong, actually, I think there's nothing wrong with men occasionally looking at this stuff, but the prerequisite is that they must be adults. Xiaoqi, Linglong's sister is really understanding. I'm 18 now and will be 19 tomorrow. Linglong. Happy birthday in advance, little brother. Xiaoqi. Sakata Gintoki. Linglong, my friend, I really don't understand what you're saying. Xiaoqi, system, please help fix this problem. I'll give you a 5-star rating. Hint, all languages in the universe have been integrated into the group for seamless chat? Xiaoqi, wow, it actually works. 5-star rating. Linglong, amazing. I suddenly, inexplicably, understood everything. Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san finally understands what you're saying. I was practically choking on him just now. This feels like a lot of waste built up in my stomach finally being released. Ha ha ha, Xiaoqi couldn't help but laugh. The tone and metaphors were exactly the same as when he used to watch Gintama. Xiaoqi could imagine Sakata Gintoki pinching his nose as he said this. Linglong, sir, your way of speaking is truly unique. Zhu Zhuqing, disgusting. Xiaoqi, that's just how Jin-san speaks. You'll get used to it over time. He's a very interesting person and a very reliable person in critical moments. Sakata Gintoki, young man, You know me very well, but Jin-san, I only like women. Sakata Gintoki, Nami. Are you the Nami from One Piece? Jin-san is very fond of you. Jin-san wants to sleep with you and go find One Piece's with you. Linglong, is this what you call interesting and reliable? Zhu Zhuqing, dirty, shameless. Nami, get lost. Xiaoqi, up. Jin-san, can we be serious? You're scaring the other girls like this. Sakata Gintoki, ahem, sorry. Jin-san's mind was just invaded by a creature called Shinbaji. Jin-san wanted to get on Miss Nami's ship, but Jin-san dreams of becoming the Pirate King. Xiaoqi, Shimura Shinpachi is being blamed for no reason. I'm dying of laughter. Linglong, that's not right. Judging from the tone of this Sakata Gintoki talking to Miss Nami, do they know each other? Xiaoqi, Jin-san read the One Piece manga in a magazine called Weekly Shonen Jump, which is how he got to know Nami. Xiaoqi, of course, I know all of you because you've read the anime or novels about you. I just saw that each of your anime is listed in that kiwi icon. You can check it out when you have time. It's like foreseeing the future. Xiaoqi, but I have to warn you, if you make any decisions after watching the anime that differ from the original, the future will be completely changed. You can think of it as embarking on a completely new path. Linglong, no wonder you know so much about each of us. I didn't expect I am also a character in the anime. That's a hard truth to accept. Sakata Gintoki, that's right. Jin-san feels uncomfortable at the thought of having his body seen by a man. How can that be corrected? Linglong, why is your focus so strange? It seems to make sense. Nami, can anyone lend me some points? Or I can buy them from you using Bailey. In the pirate world, Nami quickly found the anime One Piece from the kiwi fruit icon, following Xiaoqi's advice. Clicking on it nearly killed her. The anime had over 1,000 episodes, and it was still being serialized. She had just signed in and only earned a little over 30 points. She didn't know which episode the episode about her own Kokoja village was in. If she started watching from the beginning, she wouldn't have that many points. She wanted to get a monthly subscription for 498 points. Xiaoqi, the chat group was just created, so we probably don't have many points. If you want to know which storyline you're interested in, you can ask me or Jin-san, but you have to tell us about your current situation first. Xiaoqi, and let me be frank, your world's Bailey probably wouldn't be worth many points in the chat group. Just taking a look at the things in the group should understand the importance of points here. Chapter 3, Little Thief Nami. In the pirate world, Nami pondered Xiaoqi's message, admitting that what she had just said was true. She had previously tried to exchange belly for points, but the group chat informed her that 10 million belly could only be exchanged for 1 point. She simply didn't have that much money on her right now, and even if she did, she wouldn't have done so. She had her money saved to save the Kokoja village. But now that she could see the future, she was truly curious to see if she could ultimately succeed in saving the village. No, I need to find out what his motives are. He's not trying to get my body, is he? He's after my body, like that guy called Sakata Gintoki. Nami muttered to herself. Nami, why are you so kind to help me? What's your motive? Xiaoqi, as expected of a thieving cat. Nami, you're quite defensive. Xiaoqi, to be honest, for some reason, I didn't have a good impression of you, but since we're all in the same group, it's a kind of fate, and I'll need everyone's help in the future, so you can think of it as a business deal. While Nami is incredibly popular and beautiful in One Piece, Xiaoqi doesn't have a very favorable impression of her. As he mentioned earlier, Nami is too open. Xiaoqi remembers that in the original story, while the Straw Hats were in a bathhouse in Alabasta, Nami remarked that it seemed like only 100,000 berries would be enough to see her once. Furthermore, Nami's behavior after joining the Straw Hats was criticized by many. Of course, if you were just friends with her, Nami, aside from a bit of greed and violence, is otherwise quite good. At least she wouldn't betray her friends. Sakata Gintoki, Nami-san, Jin-san's goal is simple, to sleep with you. Sakata Gintoki, sorry, the Shinbaji virus just invaded my brain again. Jin-san wants to board your ship and go sailing together. Linglong, isn't Shinbaji an alien? How did it become a virus? Sakata Gintoki, that's unimportant. All you need to know is that if Jin-san starts talking nonsense from now on, he's under the control of Shinbaji. Nami, get out of here. You'll never get into my bed, Nami. Get into my boat, Nami. Xiaoqi, You said you wanted to trade, so what do you want from me, Xiaoqi? I want a lot of things. After all, I'm the only human in my world, and I'll need your help in many places in the future. Linglong, you're kidding me, right? How could there be only you, the only human in a world? Where are the others? Sakata Gintoki. Jin-san doesn't believe it either. If such a world really existed, Jin-san could lie there forever. Xiaoqi, I don't need to lie to you. I just traveled to this world not long ago. I can video chat with you if there's a chance. Xiaoqi, at Sakata Gintoki, if you want to come, I'm more than welcome to do so. You'll just have to figure out the food yourself. Xiaoqi, to be honest, I originally thought I'd end up starving to death, but thankfully, we have this chat group. So, from now on, I'll buy some of the items I need from all of you, and I'll do my best to help you if you need anything. This can be considered an equal exchange. Having arrived in this world and with no way back for the time being, Xiaoqi has decided to live a good life here. These group members are his lifeline, so he must cultivate good relationships with all of them. Linglong, you're such a pathetic time traveler. If you need anything in the future, I'll help you. Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san suddenly feels like my own world is better. Jin-san, I've developed a disease that makes me unable to live without sweets. Xiaoqi, thank you, Linglong. But I won't take your things for free. You can convert them into points and sell them to me at a small discount. Nami, I agree to the deal. I can't guarantee anything else, but I can still provide you with food. Xiaoqi, sure. Then tell me about your current situation, Nami. It's the year 1520 of the Sea Circle calendar here. I want to know what happened to the East Sea Dragon pirates. Xiaoqi, I see. No wonder you're so eager to watch One Piece. Before that, I'd like to ask if you know anyone named Monkey D. Luffy. Nami, Luffy? He's right next to me. We're in Westrope Village now. Sakata Gintoki, so the story has only just begun. The long-nosed guy is about to board the ship. Xiaoqi, Jin-san is right. After you leave here, your next destination will be the restaurant on the sea. There, a perverted chef will join you. After that, the story will take you to your Kokoja village. Arlong was eventually defeated by Luffy, and you truly became the navigator of the Straw Hat Pirates. Xiaoqi, I want to remind you that you should give up your idea of buying Kokoja village for 100 million berries right now, because this is a trap set by Arlong. He's attracted to your sailing talent and wants to use Kokoja village to control you for life. Sakata Gintoki, not bad. That stinky fish Jin-san really wants to tear him into pieces. How dare he bully our lovely Nami-chan? It's simply unforgivable. Xiaoqi, by the way, you can start watching One Piece around episode 37. I remember that these episodes are about the story of Kokoja village. Nami, thank you. Let me know when you want food. I'm going to watch One Piece first. Xiaoqi, at Sakata Gintoki, I'm curious, can you beat Arlong? Sakata Gintoki, damn, who knows? What about you? Xiaoqi, I'm just an ordinary person right now, but if you give me time, not only Arlong, but the entire pirate world is no match for me. Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san doesn't believe it. Those admirals could kill Jin-san in an instant, let alone an ordinary person like you. Xiaoqi, that's why I said it takes time. Jin-san should know about Saiyans, right? Sakata Gintoki, of course he does. Jin-san dreams of becoming a man like Kakarot. Linglong, didn't you say before that your dream was to become the Pirate King? How could you change so quickly? Sakata Gintoki, you're such a jerk. You've been teasing me ever since just now. You look cute in your profile picture, but why are you so unlovable when you talk? Xiaoqi, Jin-san, you wouldn't say that if you had met her in person. Nami now is no match for her in every way. Nami 2 years from now would be about the same. Sakata Gintoki, Linglong, want a date? Linglong, sorry, I don't like curly white hair. Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san should get his hair straightened. Linglong, that's fine too. At Xiaoqi, thank you for the compliment. Wait a minute, I'll treat you to something delicious. But what exactly are these Saiyans you just mentioned? Sakata Gintoki, the so-called Saiyans are a very powerful fighting race. They can destroy a planet as easily as Jin-san eating a sundae. Sakata Gintoki, but none of that matters. What matters is that they can transform into those cool Super Saiyans. They're just so handsome. Sakata Gintoki, by the way. Do you want to see Jin-san transform? Chapter 4 Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san is not for fun. Linglong, at Xiaoqi, so you're a Saiyan? Sakata Gintoki, hey, Jin-san explained it to you for so long, and you actually asked if that kid was a Saiyan. If he was, Jin-san would be doing a handstand and having diarrhea. Xiaoqi, I think I'm still considered an Earthling. Sakata Gintoki, see? The Saiyan planets were all destroyed by King Frieza, and now only Kakarot and Vegeta are left. Xiaoqi, but I have Saiyan blood. As for how I got it, you know how to use the cheat code. Linglong, I see. Sakata Gintoki, what? How could you have Saiyan blood? Hashigamate, and what the hell is the cheat code? Sakata Gintoki, there are so many things to complain about, Jin-san doesn't even know where to start. Linglong, you can think of the cheat code as a cheat or a plugin. Do you understand that explanation, Sakata Gintoki? Isn't it like when Jin-san plays games and can never aim at the other person's head, but the other person always manages to blow Jin-san's head off? Linglong, yeah, your understanding is not wrong, Xiaoqi. Jin-san, is there a possibility that it's just because you're just terrible at gaming? Snicker JPG, Sakata Gintoki, don't underestimate Jin-san's gaming skills, you bastard. Sakata Gintoki, damn it, Jin-san, I want a cheat code too, Xiaoqi. Jin-san, have you forgotten that you already have one? Linglong, yeah, this chat group is our cheat code. We can trade techniques and skills from our own worlds, and earn points for prize draws. Then, we can all become super powerful. Hint, Sakata Gintoki uploaded a toy Akko wooden sword and earned 1 point, but a 10% handling fee will be deducted. Sakata Gintoki, how can it be repaired? It's only worth 1 point. Oh no, I only got 0.9 points. This is Jin-san's treasure. Xiaoqi, ha, I'm dying of laughter. Don't you have any idea where you got this knife? I'm probably only giving you a 1-point valuation because you've used it. Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san wants to buy a devil fruit. Jin-san wants to learn Kamehameha. Linglong, are these things powerful? Xiaoqi, devil fruits are a product of the world of One Piece. After eating them, an ordinary person can instantly become a superhuman, but there are certain side effects. Besides devil fruits, this world also has many powerful abilities. You'll know after watching One Piece. Linglong, so Nami's world is so powerful? How powerful are the worlds of the other people in the group? Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san's world is just an ordinary one. Xiaoqi, do you have any misunderstandings about the word ordinary? Speaking of ordinary, the world Sakuragi Hanamichi and I inhabit is truly ordinary, okay? Xiaoqi, among us, Nami's world undoubtedly has the highest combat power system right now. If you didn't know the weaknesses of your devil fruits, any admiral or 4 emperor level figure from there could easily defeat your respective worlds. Xiaoqi, as for which world is stronger, yours or Zhu Zhuqing's, that's hard to compare. I suggest you watch the anime related to each of these worlds and you'll find out. Sakata Gintoki, no matter how strong I am, I'm no match for you Saiyans. Jin-san has decided, I'll cling to you and follow you from now on. Xiaoqi, well, I'm still just a weakling. Sakata Gintoki, what's the difference? Jin-san, the first time I saw you, I knew you were the chosen one. Linglong, Jin-san, when did you meet him? Sakata Gintoki, that's just a metaphor. Do you understand? You're such a horrible woman. Linglong, ha, Jin-san, you're so funny. Sakata Gintoki, hey, Jin-san is not for playing, but Jin-san doesn't mind playing some adult games with you. Zhu Zhuqing, obscene. Sakata Gintoki, I'm wondering how you, girl, can be so fat. Every time Jin-san and our Xiaoqi say something about this, you scold us. Jin-san also has a temper. Xiaoqi looked at the way Sakata Gintoki addressed him with a dark face. He always felt that the other party was taking advantage of him but had no evidence. However, he also saw that Zhu Zhuqing had been peeking at the screen the whole time, but whenever some topics that disgusted her were mentioned, she couldn't help but come out and say something. Linglong, at Zhu Zhuqing, from the tone of your voice, it seems that you hate men. Can I ask how old you are this year? In the world of Daluo continent, Zhu Zhuqing, who was lying on the bed at this time, was eager to know about her future. She had previously learned from Xiaoqi's message that each of them had an anime set in their own world. So, she found an anime called Daluo Daluo on the kiwi fruit icon. Since her own continent happened to be called that same name, she suspected it might be related to her own world. Deciding to give it a try, Zhu Zhuqing spent 1 point to watch the first episode. At first, Zhu Zhuqing thought she'd guessed wrong. The setting wasn't her own Daluo Daluo at all, but rather the story of a man named Tang San stealing from the Tang sect. Zhu Zhuqing naturally despised such theft, and just as she was about to turn it off, the screen suddenly shifted to the familiar world of Daluo Daluo. Zhu Zhuqing watched episode after episode. She had no interest in Tang San. She wanted to watch the story about herself and the person she'd fled to find. After fast-forwarding through several episodes and arriving in Soto City, Zhu Zhuqing finally caught what she wanted to see. However, as the saying goes, the greater the expectation, the greater the disappointment. Although she had heard some stories about him and had prepared herself for the situation, Zhu Zhuqing was filled with anger and disappointment in Daimyo the moment she saw him appear at the Rose Hotel, hugging twin sisters and checking into a room. What will my ending be? Zhu Zhuqing suppressed her rage and continued watching. Unfortunately, her points ran out just as they reached the crucial moment of their encounter with the Titan ape in the starred-out Great Forest. This terrified Zhu Zhuqing. Her check-in points for today had already been used up. If she wanted to watch, she would have to wait until tomorrow or trade her belongings in the chat group for points. But having escaped the Star Luo Empire, she didn't have any valuables. At that moment, Zhu Zhuqing thought of the man in the group. He should know her future. Zhu Zhuqing, at Xiaoqi, do you know my future? I can trade with you. Chapter 5 Zhu Zhuqing. Xiaoqi, don't worry about the stuff yet. I do know about your future, but what do you want to know? Your final ending, or the subsequent developments of your current plot? Xiaoqi, let's put it this way, your final ending can be called a perfect ending, even surpassing 99.9% of people on Daluo continent. But personally, it's a bit of a shame, because you ended up becoming the person you hated the most. Zhu Zhuqing, did I end up with him? Xiaoqi, yes, you two did end up together, and you both ascended to the god realm. He became the god of war, and you became the god of speed. Linglong, oh my god, am I reading this right? Ascending to the god realm? Becoming a god? You actually say it's a pity with such an ending? Are you mistaken? Sakata Gintoki, Sister Zhuqing, are you still missing any accessories? Jin-san will be hanging around with you from now on. Xiaoqi. Linglong, didn't you just say you'd cling to Xiaoqi and follow him? Why did you change your mind so quickly? Sakata Gintoki, yeah, one's clinging to someone, the other's being a figurehead. For Gintoki, there's no conflict at all. Linglong, I'm impressed, you're such a jerk. Zhu Zhuqing jumped up from her bed in shock after seeing Xiaoqi's message. She stared at the screen with wide eyes, reading the message over and over again. She had always believed that becoming a god was just a rumor on Daluo continent, but she had never imagined it could actually happen, and that it would happen to her. She knew her own talent best, and Zhu Zhuqing knew she couldn't achieve godhood on her own. So who would help her achieve it? Daimyo? Or someone else? Xiaoqi, I'm saying, are you mistaken? The gods of Daluo continent are called gods, but their power is just so-so. They're not as impressive as you think. Linglong, that's also the title of god, okay? For those of us who don't understand, telling someone I'm a Saiyan and telling them I'm a god give completely different impressions, right? Sakata Gintoki, exactly, that's right. Jin-san and Jin-god sound completely different. The latter has girls coming to him automatically. Linglong, Jin-san, do you want to become a god just to pick up girls? Sakata Gintoki, of course not. If you become a god, you can eat for free, bathe in the women's bathhouse, don't have to pay rent, don't have to work, and so on. Linglong, if you become a god, the gods will cry, right? Zhu Zhuqing, I want to ask, what exactly did I experience in my later years? I just arrived in Soto City. Xiaoqi, I see. It's still early for you to become a god, then. Are you going to register for Shrek Academy next? Zhu Zhuqing, yes, tomorrow. Xiaoqi, let me briefly summarize your subsequent experiences. After joining Shrek Academy, you met the other 6 people. You studied and trained together, and the 7 of you later became famous in the Great Soul Fighting Arena, earning the nickname Shrek 7 Devils. Xiaoqi, next, you traveled to Xiandao City. Initially, You planned to join the Xiandao Royal Academy, but for some reason, you were unable to do so. Instead, you joined Blue Tyrant Academy, later renamed Shrek Academy. Xiaoqi, upon arriving here, you experienced two major events in your life. The first was consuming the magical herb Narcissus Jade Muscle and Bone, which laid the foundation for your future godhood. Xiaoqi. The second major event was winning the key to the Continental Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Competition. You and him defeated your sisters Zhu Zhuqing and Davis in this competition. Xiaoqi, after winning the championship, the seven of you successfully graduated from Shrek Academy and went your separate ways, making a 5-year pact before parting. Xiaoqi, during these 5 years, he was crowned Crown Prince of Linglong, and you subsequently became Crown Princess. Xiaoqi, 5 years later, when you reunited, you journeyed to Seagoat Island for training. Through your own efforts, you successfully passed the 5th Black Level trial, and by the time you left Seagoat Island, your cultivation had reached the Soul Daluo level. Xiaoqi, afterward, you participated in the most important battle on Daluo continent, the Battle of Jialing Pass. This battle was brutal, and due to your lack of strength, you decided to return to Seagoat Island. It was also during this time that you achieved the realm of title Daluo, receiving the title Netherworld. Xiaoqi, ultimately, you returned to the battlefield of Jialing Pass and won the battle, and you ascended to the Divine Realm after reaching level 100. Xiaoqi, that's pretty much it. I'm exhausted. Zhu Zhuqing, thank you. I will repay you for this favor. Linglong, wait. After listening to this, I think Zhu Zhuqing's life is very inspiring. She achieved godhood entirely through her own efforts. How could it be the pity you mentioned earlier? Sakata Gintoki, working hard with her companions to ultimately defeat the boss, isn't that the story of the passionate hero and heroine in Jump? It might be cliché, but Jin-san loves it. Xiaoqi, you're both right. It does sound beautiful and touching, but you wouldn't say that if you knew the kind of man Zhu Zhuqing married. Linglong, what do you mean? Did our Zhuqing marry a scumbag? But the man you just mentioned is the crown prince. Sakata Gintoki, is he the same as our idiot prince? Xiaoqi, at Zhu Zhuqing, can I talk about him? If you don't mind, forget it. Zhu Zhuqing, go ahead and say whatever you want to say. My story won't be a secret to you guys anymore, and I also want to hear what others think of him. Xiaoqi, okay, but before I start, I want to ask you two a question. What do you think of the saying, women aren't population, they're resources? Linglong, how dare you say that about us women? You're courting death. Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san agrees. Although Kagura is an idiot, women are meant to be cherished. Nami, anyone who says that is the enemy of all of us women. Xiaoqi, hey, didn't you go watch One Piece? Nami, I finished watching the storyline in Kokoja Village. Thank you. Xiaoqi, it's a small matter. I'll get on with it. Xiaoqi, the person who said that was Zhu Zhuqing's fiancée, Daimyo. I said it was a pity for Zhu Zhuqing because she ended up marrying this man. Xiaoqi, if Daimyo were an upright man, then I would bless Zhu Zhuqing. But in my opinion, Daimyo is not worthy of Zhu Zhuqing's love, let alone Zhu Zhuqing as a person. Chapter 6 Daimyo is a scumbag, there is no way to defend himself. Xiaoqi, before I talk about Daimyo, let me first explain the succession system in their empire. There, the princes fight for the throne through force. The victor becomes emperor, while the loser faces life-threatening danger. Daimyo is the third prince. Feeling he can't compete with his eldest brother for the throne, he chooses to escape reality, abandoning his fiancée, Zhu Zhuqing, and fleeing to the remote Shrek Academy. If he came to Shrek Academy to temporarily endure and strive for self-improvement, then I'd respect him as a man. But guess what this guy did at Shrek Academy? After arriving at Shrek Academy, this idiot became a famous playboy in the local area, embracing women everywhere and visiting prostitutes. The women he's had sex with are beyond your imagination. Xiaoqi, as for his fiancée and the struggle for the throne, he'd long since forgotten them. In his own words, he'd be killed by his eldest brother sooner or later anyway, so he might as well enjoy life now. Sakata Gintoki, so envious. Oh no, that's just despicable. Nami, a man like that is simply the worst of men. Linglong, that's certainly excessive, but didn't he turn over a new leaf later? Xiaoqi, oh, Do you know what Zhu Zhuqing was going through while he was playing with women? She was being hunted by her own sister. Xiaoqi, Zhu Zhuqing endured assassination attempts all the way to Soto City. Even so, she refused to give up, determined to find her fiancé and fight back with the combined strength of their power. Xiaoqi, but after Zhu Zhuqing found Daimyo Bei, he actually went to a brothel right in front of her. How could a human being do that? Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san couldn't stand it anymore. He was going to teach him a lesson. Nami, I can't stand it anymore. Don't let me see him. Linglong, wait a minute, you two. There's definitely a twist in this story, otherwise Zhu Zhuqing wouldn't have married him in the end. Let's hear it out first. Xiaoqi, this guy did turn over a new leaf later on, but do you know why? I finally found the answer after rewatching Dalu 99 times. Xiaoqi, first, Zhu Zhuqing was still young when Daimyo Bei abandoned her, but by the time she found him, she had become a stunning beauty. I personally think her looks surpass both of you, and her figure is beyond compare. Xiaoqi, at Linglong, Zhu Zhuqing looked exactly like you when she was less than 12 years old, and comparable to Nami 2 years later. Isn't that amazing? Linglong, oh my god, that's too much? No, how did you know my figure? Xiaoqi, I've also seen that anime of yours. Sakata Gintoki, Hashio Masaki. Linglong, could you please send a full-body photo to Yin-san? Linglong, dream on. Xiaoqi, Yin-san, just imagine what Nami will look like in 2 years. Nami, no, stop imagining. Get on with your story. Xiaoqi, okay, Zhu Zhuqing's current beauty is nothing compared to the women he's had sex with before. Plus, Zhu Zhuqing's personality has fueled his desire to conquer her. Xiaoqi, but Zhu Zhuqing didn't initially have a favorable impression of Daimyo Bei, perhaps even disliked her. Naturally, she wouldn't agree to a relationship so easily. Xiaoqi, so, over time, our third prince got upset. His understanding was, I've already put aside my pride to please you, Zhu Zhuqing, and stopped playing with other women. Why are you still pretending to be so noble in front of me, Xiaoqi? His behavior reminds me of a prostitute who earns enough money to return home and find an honest man to marry. While that metaphor isn't a pleasant one, that's how Zhu Zhuqing was perceived by Daimyo Bei from the beginning. Xiaoqi, what truly changed Daimyo Bei's heart was the appearance of a person who gave him hope of defeating his eldest brother. This is my second point. Zhu Zhuqing, was that person Tang-san? Xiaoqi, how do you know? Did you not even enter Shrek Academy yet? Zhu Zhuqing, I just watched a few episodes of Dalu, the entire story revolves around him. In your words, he should be the chosen one of my world, right? Xiaoqi, that's indeed the case. I'll analyze Tang-san's character later, but I advise you to stay away from him after joining Shrek Academy, especially not to harm Xia Wu, who's by his side. Otherwise, in his eyes, you'll be asking for death. Zhu Zhuqing, thank you. I'll keep an eye on that. Xiaoqi, then let me continue. Without Tang-san, not only would you two eventually become gods, but even defeating your sister and Daimyo Bei's eldest brother wouldn't be possible. Daimyo Bei also slowly began to change after seeing Tang-san's potential. Xiaoqi, due to neglecting his training, Daimyo Bei's spirit power was only level 37 at the age of 15. While he might seem genius compared to the others, he's still far behind a true genius. Xiaoqi, if you'd relied solely on normal training, you wouldn't have had any hope of winning the Spirit Master competition a year later. But afterward, you all ate the immortal grass, and your spirit power skyrocketed. Take you for example, your spirit power increased by a full 7 levels after consuming the immortal grass. Zhu Zhuqing, is this immortal grass so powerful? Xiaoqi, well, it didn't just increase your spirit power levels, but more importantly, it improved each of your physical strengths and spirit deficiencies. Xiaoqi, honestly, even if you managed to win the championship and even defeat your sister after consuming the immortal grass, it was largely due to Tang-san's contribution alone. Regardless, judging by the outcome, you and Daimyo Bei did win, and you both earned the respect of the royal family. Xiaoqi, and during this process, you slowly began to accept Daimyo Bei. But let me be frank, you didn't initially accept him out of love. Your heart prevented you from forgiving his past. Xiaoqi, The best proof is that the immortal herb you were supposed to be absorbing was supposed to be lovesick heartbroken red. When picking this immortal herb, you must be thinking of your loved one. Any hesitation will result in failure. You probably guessed the outcome. Xiaoqi, but reality forced you to bow down. You couldn't leave him, and he needed your strength to form a spirit fusion technique with him. You should have known that with Daimyubei's personality, you wouldn't be the only woman he could have inherited. You simply compromised with yourself. Xiaoqi, of course, I'm not saying your choice was wrong. You simply wanted to survive, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I say you've ultimately become the person you most hate. What a pity. Xiaoqi, as for Daimyubei, my personal conclusion is that he's a scumbag. I won't say anything to whitewash him, he doesn't deserve it. Chapter 7, Sakuragi Hanamichi who doesn't know how to use the chat group. Nami, that Daimyubei is a complete scumbag, abandoning his fiancée to indulge in his own affairs. Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san is a playboy, but not vulgar. After all, going to places like that could easily make your penis sick. Linglong, did you say something outrageous? Otherwise, why would you be blocked? Sakata Gintoki, not outrageous, I just have something you don't. Linglong, shut up. Zhu Zhuqing ignored the other messages. Every word Xiaoqi had just sent pierced her heart like a thorn. She might have pretended to convince herself that Daimyubei had other women after inheriting the throne. After all, no emperor in history had only one woman by his side, but she could never convince herself to forgive Daimyubei for having affairs, especially in such filthy places as brothels. But in the end, she chose the man she hated. Xiaoqi was right. She compromised to survive and chose to turn a blind eye. Zhu Zhuqing suddenly found her own expression in Dalu when she first met Daimyubei ridiculous. Since they'd finally compromised, why had she acted so righteous in the first place? Thinking of this, a melancholy smile crossed Zhu Zhuqing's face. Perhaps in his eyes, I'm just a more sophisticated plaything. Just then, Xiaoqi's message brightened her eyes. Xiaoqi, at Zhu Zhuqing, why are you quiet? You're probably hiding in a corner crying. Xiaoqi, what I just said was only about your situation in the original novel. What does it have to do with you now? If you don't like the ending in the original novel, you can always choose a different path. Don't forget that you're also a cheater now. You could become a god through your own strength, or even surpass a god. Linglong, how can you comfort a girl like that? But what you said is true. Zhu Zhuqing, what should I do? Xiaoqi, before you ask what to do, first ask yourself which path you really want to take in the future. You too can think about this question at Nami, at Linglong. Sakata Gintoki, why don't you ask me, Jin-san? Xiaoqi, how should I put it about your world? While there are enemies, it's mostly about comedy. And I believe Jin-san will make the right choice after watching the anime Gintama set in your world. Sakata Gintoki, asshole, Jin-san already said he doesn't like men, why do you know me so well? Xiaoqi, get lost, I don't like men either, especially with white curly hair. Also, Hamehameha warning. Sakata Gintoki, he kicks you, Saiyans are amazing, Jin-san, I'm not envious at all. Xiaoqi, Saiyans are indeed amazing, proud JPG. Sakata Gintoki, one day, Jin-san will become a Saiyan too, and then I'll use my ultimate flash to fight you. Xiaoqi, okay, then I'll be waiting for you, but by then I might be a Super Saiyan. Xiaoqi, how about this? While you guys are thinking about this, I'll tell you the anime corresponding to the other two people at Linglong. The anime about you is under one person, and at Sakuragi Hanamichi, the anime about you is slam dunk. Linglong, thank you, but why is that Sakuragi Hanamichi silent? Xiaoqi, I don't know either, maybe he doesn't know how to use it? Probably, slam dunk world. Damn it, why is it only my message that can't be sent? At this moment, Sakuragi Hanamichi was almost going crazy. He also wanted to send a message, but he didn't know how to send it. No matter how he shouted, it was useless. Good friend Mito Yohei stepped forward and asked, Sakuragi, what have you been mumbling to yourself about since just now? What about the chat group? What about beautiful women? I think it's probably just too many heartbreaks that's causing him mental problems. After all, this is his 50th heartbreak, a record that's never going to be surpassed. Ha ha ha, bang. As soon as Takemiya and Nozomi finished speaking, he was met with a love headbutt from Sakuragi Hanamichi. Damn it. Takemiya Nozomi collapsed to the ground in agony, unable to get up. You're the one with the mental issues, you bastard. Unsatisfied, Sakuragi Hanamichi cursed at Takemiya Nozomi, who lay on the ground. Then, turning to Mito Yohei, he anxiously said, Yohei, can you please help me? Sakuragi, what's wrong with you? Tell me everything that happened to you, bit by bit. Mito Yohei frowned. Sakuragi's reaction struck him as unusual. Although he was emotional, he wasn't crying, throwing a tantrum, or even threatening to commit suicide like he usually does after a breakup. This excitement, in turn, made him feel as if he'd experienced something joyful. Sakuragi Hanamichi nodded, then stood there and began to excitedly recount to Mito Yohei the story of being invited to the chat group. Zhu Zhuqing, I've thought it through. I won't rely on Daimyubei anymore. This time, I'm going to survive on my own. Even if I die, I don't want to end up like someone I hate. Xiaoqi, very well. Then go have dinner and then go back to the hotel to sleep. Tomorrow, wake up and go to Shrek Academy to register for admission. Zhu Zhuqing? Nami? Sakata Gintoki? Linglong, no, did you get something wrong? What's the difference between doing this and following the plot? Xiaoqi, I know you're anxious, but wait, just listen to me. Xiaoqi, you should be familiar with the concept of parallel worlds, right? Linglong, of course I know. It's mentioned in the book. Xiaoqi, so, first, we need to confirm whether the Daluo continent world Zhu Zhuqing is in is the same world as in the original novel. After all, with the advent of magical things like chat groups, encountering parallel worlds wouldn't be surprising. Sakata Gintoki, wait, what is a parallel world? Xiaoqi, let me give you an example. You're currently Sakata Gintoki in the Gintama world, but in another time and space, even though it's still the Gintama world, you could be Sakata Gintoki. Simply put, you could have changed from a man to a woman. Sakata Gintoki, you bastard. Jin-san has his own problems no matter which parallel world he's in. Linglong, shut up. What then? Xiaoqi, then she'll enroll. Zhu Zhuqing could go to another academy with her current circumstances, but there's no need. Xiaoqi, on the one hand, there aren't many academies suitable for her in the kingdom of Barak. On the other hand, it wouldn't be safe for her to go to Xiandao City alone. What if she meets someone with bad intentions along the way? That would be the end of her. Xiaoqi, so, at this stage, it's safest for Zhu Zhuqing to enroll in Shrek Academy. But the enrollment I'm talking about is completely different from the enrollment in the plot. Remember this. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8, The routine of online articles is usually like this. Xiaoqi, I'm asking you to join Shrek Academy, but I'm not asking you to truly join. You may have joined Shrek Academy physically, but your heart isn't. Do you understand what I'm saying? Zhu Zhuqing, I understand. Xiaoqi, that's good. After you join, just keep to yourself. You don't need to deliberately maintain good relationships with anyone. Remember, everyone, because besides you, no one in Shrek Academy is normal. Or perhaps everyone else's values are flawed. Linglong, so what? I don't know about the others, but didn't you just say that Zhuqing's ability to become a god was all thanks to Tang San's help? From that perspective, he's very sincere towards his friends. Nami, I think so too. Xiaoqi, at Zhu Zhuqing, tell me what you think of him after watching those episodes of Daluo Dalu. Zhu Zhuqing, he didn't give me a good impression at first. Before crossing over, he stole things from my own sect. After crossing over, he pretended to be a child and slept with that girl named Xiao Wu, even though he clearly had an adult soul. Also, I feel like he's a bit dark, constantly trying to kill others, even for trivial matters. Zhu Zhuqing, but I also admit that after becoming Xiao Wu's brother, he really took care of her. From that point of view, he's not a bad person. Xiaoqi, well, that's a very objective assessment, but you're wrong about one thing. They're brother and sister now, but they'll be husband and wife in the future. And Xiao Wu isn't human, she's a soul beast that's transformed 100,000 years ago. Her true form is a rabbit. You'll find out as you continue reading. Zhu Zhuqing, what? How is that even possible? Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san, I'm completely confused by what you're talking about now. Why time travel again? And soul beasts and rabbits and all that stuff? But that's not important. Can brother and sister get married? Linglong, while your focus is quite problematic, I still have a question. Xiaoqi, we'll discuss Tang-san's affairs after you've finished watching Daluo Dalu, it's a long shot. Xiaoqi, in short, don't get too involved with these people. Putting aside the fact that you owe them nothing in this life, even in the original novel, although you were one of the Shrek 7 devils, you were the most marginalized of the 7. Xiaoqi, remember when I told you about a plot point where you moved to Xiandao City? Zhu Zhuqing, yes. Xiaoqi, when you arrived in Xiandao City, that was when you left Shrek. By that time, you should have finished watching Daluo Dalu, and you should have a clear idea of what kind of people those people are. Xiaoqi, from the time you joined Shrek Academy until you left, besides daily practice, the most important thing was to earn points. Points were the fastest way to increase your strength. Linglong, aren't points only earned by signing in and selling items? Xiaoqi, Linglong, I'm now suspicious that those novels you used to read about cheat codes and the like were all from over a decade ago. Xiaoqi, if the chat group only has these two ways to earn points, then why does it even have to say in the announcement, please explore how to earn points yourself? Isn't that redundant? Linglong, then what other ways are there to earn points? Xiaoqi, based on my years of reading novels, cheat codes like these in chat groups usually have a high probability of earning points by changing the plot. Linglong, if that's true, wouldn't it be better to keep Zhuqing from enrolling in Shrek Academy? Xiaoqi, I'm truly impressed by your intelligence. I really hope it's your best friend Xiaohu who joins the group. Talking to her wouldn't be so tiring. Linglong, I'm so sorry it wasn't Xiaohu who joined. Sakata Gintoki, strange, aren't Saiyans supposed to be idiots who only know how to fight? How come you're so smart that you spotted something Jin-san didn't even notice? That's unrealistic. Nami, stop it, you two. Make him speak up. This is crucial for all of us. Xiaoqi, no more talking. I'm tired. Time for bed. Nami, Sakata Gintoki, why are you sleeping? Get up and have some fun, or don't blame Jin-san for sending Shinbeji to find you. Sakata Gintoki, Moses, is anyone there? Linglong, at Xiaoqi, I'll treat you to dinner later, how about that? Zhu Zhuqing, I can treat you to dinner too. You've said so much to me, and I haven't even thanked you properly. Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san has no money, but Jin-san can treat you to his. Xiaoqi, get lost. Sakata Gintoki, see, it's working. Jin-san has a plan after all. Xiaoqi, forget it, let me finish this quickly. I'm going to eat something soon. I haven't eaten since I came to this world. Xiaoqi, first of all, if my previous speculation is correct, it is indeed possible that Zhu Zhuqing can gain points by changing the plot if she doesn't enter Shrek Academy, but none of us know how many points she can gain. If the points are small, then she will lose a lot. Xiaoqi, on the other hand, if Zhu Zhuqing joins Shrek Academy, with her knowledge of the subsequent plot, she can change the plot at any time. For example, in the final stage of tomorrow's entrance examination, in the original novel, they have to survive Zhaowuji for an instant stick of time to pass. Xiaoqi, then let's do the opposite and have Zhu Zhuqing challenge Daimube. Daimube will definitely not really fight Zhu Zhuqing. This way, Zhu Zhuqing can not only vent the anger she has been pent up in her for years, but also see if she can gain points by changing the plot. Isn't this killing two birds with one stone? Xiaoqi, as for whether or not she'll be able to successfully enroll, there's no need to worry. Shrek, a quack academy, doesn't have many students. Zhu Zhuqing's talent isn't the most outstanding, but she'd be highly sought after at any other academy. How could they bear to let her go? Not to mention Daimube's presence. Linglong, what a great idea. It's a shame we won't get to see Zhuqing beat up that scumbag. Xiaoqi, if Zhu Zhuqing actually manages to earn points tomorrow, you can emulate her and do the same. Not only will you make up for your initial regret, but you'll also earn points. Linglong, what about you? How will you earn points? You're the only one in your world, so there's no plot to change. Xiaoqi, let me say it again. There are gains and losses. I've already obtained Saiyan blood. Even without points, I can become stronger through hard work. Besides, my world is just me. What good would it do even if I became Super Saiyan Blue? I don't know when the time travel function will be available. Linglong, if you can travel through time, I welcome you to come and play at any time. In addition, if changing the plot can really earn points, I will give you 30% of the points every time I change the plot, because after all, it was you who came up with it. Nami, I will also give you 30%. If there's anything I don't understand in the future, I will continue to ask you. Xiaoqi. Oh, this really surprised me. After all, you are a well-known money grubber. Nami, my heart is bleeding. From now on, you must answer all my questions. Just consider it as the consulting fee for asking you questions. Xiaoqi. So, that's fine. Anyway, I will spend every day practicing and chatting in the group. If I see it, I will answer you. Sakata Gintoki. Since you are all like this, then Jin-san will also suffer a loss. If you come to my place in the future, Jin-san will treat you to a trip to your Zhu Zhuqing. Xiaoqi. From now on, I will give you half of all the points I earn. Chapter 9. Girls don't like white curly hair. Xiaoqi. Sister Zhuqing, I appreciate your kindness, but you don't need this. I didn't really do anything. Xiaoqi could take the points from Linglong and Nami. He'd given them advice, and they'd given him a portion of the reward, so he felt perfectly justified in taking it. But Zhu Zhuqing was starting to scare him. He didn't think what he just said to her was worth that many points. If he actually agreed, who knows how the others in the group would look at him. It was like him suddenly finding something valuable while driving an excavator. While it could make him rich overnight, he wouldn't dare take it. He was a very ethical excavator driver. Sakata Gintoki, Sister Zhuqing, Jin-san doesn't mind. Jin-san, I love to live off women, especially beautiful women. Zhu Zhuqing, I hate white-haired curly-haired people. Sakata Gintoki, hey, do you guys have a problem with curly-haired people, you bastards? Nami, we have no problem with curly hair, but we do have a problem with unruly white hair. Linglong, Nami is right. Who told you to keep making dirty jokes? Sakata Gintoki, Kkxiu, Jin-san, that's called humor. Do you understand humor? Zhu Zhuqing, Xiaoqi, what you just said means a lot to me. It's not an exaggeration to say that it gave me a new lease on life. If something as trivial as treating you to a meal isn't enough to repay your kindness, I don't have anything else to give you besides points. Sakata Gintoki, no, Jin-san thinks you can give yourself to him. He has Saiyan blood, and your child will definitely be very powerful in the future. Linglong, are Saiyan children really that powerful? Sakata Gintoki, of course, especially those who are hybrids of Earthlings and Saiyans. You can watch Dragon Ball Z later for more details. Jin-san, I'm so envious. Kkxiu. Xiaoqi, Jin-san, can you please stop messing around? Xiaoqi, at Zhu Zhuqing, don't listen to the curly-haired guy's nonsense. How about this? If you really want to thank me, forget about the points, how about doing me a favor? Zhu Zhuqing, sure, just tell me. As long as I can do it, I'll definitely do it. Xiaoqi, go to your local blacksmith shop and make me a pair of gravity wrist guards and ankle guards. Let me think about it, 10 kilograms each is a good idea. After all, I'm just starting out, so I can gradually increase the weight later. Xiaoqi, you can also make a set for yourself. For you, 3 to 5 kilograms is enough to start with, otherwise it will be a burden on your body. After all, you're still young and your body is still in the development stage. I can give them to you when I'm eliminated. Zhu Zhuqing, okay. Sakata Gintoki, are you going to learn Kakarot's training method? Xiaoqi, that's right. I don't have anyone here to train with me in combat, so I can only do this kind of training. A gravity room would be even more effective. By the way, can your world make something like that? Xiaoqi, my money won't work in your world, but I just checked at the bank, and I still have some gold. It's funny, this world has everything except living things. Nami, I'll ask for you. Can you give me some gold first? Sakata Gintoki, no, Jin-san will take care of that. With gold, you won't have to smile at old ladies all day, and you won't have to work. Linglong, I'll ask for you too. Xiaoqi, okay, thank you. If you can make weight-bearing clothes, I'll also want them. I'll let you know the sizes when you get there. Zhu Zhuqing, I'll go to the blacksmith shop and ask for you now. Xiaoqi, excuse me, I'll go get something to eat and find a place to stay. Those guys in the group are really interesting. It's a pity Sakuragi Hanamichi didn't say anything, otherwise it would be even more interesting. Xiaoqi smiled as he closed the chat group. This thing would make his life less lonely. As the sky gradually darkened, Xiaoqi grabbed some water and dinner ingredients from the supermarket and found a luxury hotel to stay in. So this is how rich people live. It's really fascinating. Xiaoqi comfortably enjoyed a life he had never experienced before, reclining in a massage chair. He used to live in a 4-person dormitory of just over a dozen square meters, with sparse amenities and a daily smell of his roommate's feet. But now, he lived in a presidential suite of over 100 square meters, its luxurious amenities giving him a taste of the joys of wealth. This world was strange, even though there were no people, the water, electricity, and gas all worked perfectly. Just as Xiaoqi was preparing to cook dinner for the day, he received red envelopes from Zhu Zhuqing, Linglong, and Nami. Looking at the pile of food on the table, Xiaoqi gave a wry smile. He couldn't possibly eat so much by himself. After sending a thank you to each of them, Xiaoqi began to eat his first meal since arriving in this world. However, as he ate, he realized he had actually finished everything on the table, without even a hint of fullness. It seems my appetite has increased after possessing Saiyan blood. Xiaoqi quickly figured out the reason and was thankful that his meals were free, otherwise, his appetite would have bankrupted him. After cleaning the table, Xiaoqi, bored, lay down on the sofa and turned on the TV. Tisk, there's nothing on. Xiaoqi curled his lips in frustration. Suddenly, a bold idea popped into his mind. Could I use the time travel feature in the chat group to expand this world's population? The idea took off, and it seemed increasingly feasible. He can let those who are unhappy in the world where the group members are located migrate to his world to live. After all, he has everything here, and things like land and houses are ready-made. But as he thought about it, Xiaoqi discovered a most difficult problem for him. Putting aside other things for now, just how to bring so many people over is a big problem. Forget it, don't think about it. These things can't be solved in a short time. Let's wait and see later. Xiaoqi got up from the sofa, took a shower, and went to the window to look at the quiet streets and city below. I'm really not used to this feeling. I will start living in a world like this in the future. Dad, Mom, are you okay? I will live well in this world. Please don't worry about me. If I have the chance in the future, I will definitely find a way to come back to see you. Good night, my first night in another world. Chapter 10, Cultivation. The next morning, Xiaoqi woke up early and opened his group chat to find everyone in the group had left him a private message wishing him a happy birthday. What surprised him most was that Sakuragi Hanamichi had not only left him a message but also sent him a red envelope. That's really Sakuragi style, Xiaoqi said, looking at the 2 10-yen coins that appeared in his hand, and suddenly he felt amused. Wow, I'm lucky today. Did the group chat know it's my birthday? Xiaoqi smiled at the 99 points he had earned from signing in today. Since it was only a little after 6 a.m., he didn't reply to anyone in the group chat. He got up, washed up, and started his morning run. Xiaoqi's training method was completely modeled after the one Son Goku used to do with Master Roshi in Dragon Ball, starting with the most basic physical training. After truly starting to exercise, Xiaoqi gradually felt the changes brought about by his Saiyan bloodline. Even after jogging for almost 5 kilometers, he didn't feel any obvious signs of fatigue, which was unimaginable before yesterday. Now that I have Saiyan blood, could I grow a tail someday? Xiaoqi paused at the thought of this possibility. While a tail embodied the Saiyan's primordial power, he wouldn't want one if he could. After all, having one dangling behind him always felt strange, and he wasn't Zhu Zhuqing. I wonder if she's awake yet? With her personality, knowing so much all at once, she probably had trouble sleeping last night. Just as Xiaoqi was thinking about Zhu Zhuqing, she suddenly received a private message from her. Zhu Zhuqing, Xiaoqi, are you awake yet? Xiaoqi, good morning. I'm working out. What are you doing up so early? Zhu Zhuqing, I'm used to it. It's your birthday today. Happy birthday, Xiaoqi, thank you. I was thinking I'd message you after you woke up. Zhu Zhuqing, I should be the one thanking you. I won't disturb you from your workout then. Xiaoqi, Okay, don't overthink it after you meet that person at Shrek Academy today. Since you've decided to embark on a new path, you must first learn to keep your mindset in check. I'm going to go work out now, and I'll see you when I get back. Zhu Zhuqing, okay, I'll wait. Daimyo, how could you bear to abandon such a wonderful girl? You're such a piece of shit. Xiaoqi internally despised Daimyo. If he ever had the chance to visit Daluo continent, he would definitely avenge Zhu Zhuqing and teach him a lesson. After a short rest, Xiaoqi ran back towards the hotel, this time picking up the pace. With only the last kilometer left, he stopped running and switched to frog jumps. Hoo-hoo, back at the hotel, Xiaoqi gasped for air. This workout was indeed tiring, but despite feeling exhausted, it wasn't time to rest just yet. Back at the hotel gym, Xiaoqi resumed his push-ups and sit-ups. An hour later, Xiaoqi, lying on the floor, couldn't even move a finger. He'd pushed himself to the limit. Xiaoqi, could you please do me a favor? Zhu Zhuqing, what's wrong? Xiaoqi, could you find me a bowl, fill it with water, and send me a red envelope? I just worked out really hard, and I'm feeling exhausted. Zhu Zhuqing, okay, wait a minute. Not long after, Zhu Zhuqing sent a red envelope. Xiaoqi was thankful that the chat group only required mind control. As for why he asked Zhu Zhuqing to find a bowl instead of a cup, it was because drinking from a bowl was more convenient. He just had to lower his head. After drinking the water and resting for half an hour, Xiaoqi felt like he was finally alive. As expected of Saiyan blood, recovery is so fast. Xiaoqi couldn't help but marvel at the Saiyan's strength. If he wasn't afraid of killing himself, he probably would have used the Saiyan's unique near-death recovery ability to trap himself. Xiaoqi, thank you for just now. I'm feeling much better now. What time are you going to register for Shrek Academy? Zhu Zhuqing, we'll be leaving in a little while. What kind of training did you do just now? Xiaoqi, nothing much, really. Just. Zhu Zhuqing, you Saiyans are truly incredible. Xiaoqi, not bad. Now that I have Saiyan blood, I can't let it go to waste. This is just the beginning. I'll gradually increase my training. My goal is to become a Super Saiyan as soon as possible. Xiaoqi, I remember you were also a training expert. It's a pity we're in two different worlds. Otherwise, we could train together and improve our strength faster. Zhu Zhuqing, maybe there'll be a chance later. I need to go get ready. Xiaoqi, okay, I'll go back and shower and have breakfast. I'm so sweaty from training. Zhu Zhuqing, do you want me to buy you some breakfast on the way? Xiaoqi, that's too much trouble. I can just make something myself later. Zhu Zhuqing, then call me if you need anything. Xiaoqi, you should be careful later. Remember what I told you yesterday, and don't get hurt. Zhu Zhuqing, I will, thank you. The world of Daluo continent. Zhu Zhuqing closed the chat group and got up to wash her face with cold water to wake herself up. According to her usual life habits, she should have gotten up to practice long ago, but she almost didn't sleep all night last night. Zhu Zhuqing checked in today's daily sign-in just after midnight, and she was lucky enough to get more than 50 points. In the following time, Zhu Zhuqing divided these points into two parts. She used 2/3 of the points to continue watching Daluo continent, and the remaining 1/3 to watch Dragon Ball Z mentioned by Sakata Gintoki. She was a little curious about the Saiyan race. She had already seen the episode about taking the immortal grass in Dalu. This time, she observed the other members of Shrek Academy from an outsider's perspective. True to Xiaoqi's words, each of them was somewhat deviant, even the teachers. Among the teachers, Flanders was cunning, treacherous, and greedy. Zhao Wuji was aloof and sarcastic. While he was protective of his students, he disliked them disobeying his decisions. Yu Zhigang was even more problematic. Being with his cousin violated moral principles. He was only a level 29 Great Spirit Master, yet he taught them with a straight face. His so-called 10 core competencies of martial spirits was a joke. Shrek's teaching philosophy now struck Zhu Zhuqing as even more ridiculous. The idea that those who dare not stir up trouble are mediocre was, at best, encouraging students to bravely face challenges and conflicts. But to put it bluntly, it was just soft-heartedness. When faced with Tugubo, they all cravenly cowered. This was especially true with the students. Mahongjin and Daimyo, those two perverts, disgusted her to the core. Oscar seemed okay on the surface, but he was actually lazy and incredibly despicable. Linglong, the young princess of the Seven Treasures glazed tile sect, was arrogant and conceited, self-centered in everything, as if everyone should obey her. Xiao Wu turned out to be a truly 100,000-year-old transformed rabbit. The relationship between humans and spirit beasts is inherently hostile, not to mention her unruly and unreasonable personality. As for Tang San's fate, if it weren't for Zhu Zhuqing's prior warning and her own reading of Daluo Dalu, Zhu Zhuqing would have truly been grateful to him, as in the original novel. He was so good at pretending to be on the side of justice, but in reality he was a complete hypocrite. Although Zhao Wuji's freshman assessment contained some elements of bullying, injuries and fights between spirit masters were perfectly normal. Yet, Tang San wanted Zhao Wuji dead. The same thing happened in the fighting arena. As soon as Xiao Wu got hurt, he would kill her. I really don't understand why he didn't just leave her at home if he was so afraid of her getting hurt. Thinking about the long time he would have to face these people, Zhu Zhuqing was increasingly reluctant to join Shrek Academy. Chapter 11, First Time Traveling. Zhu Zhuqing had originally intended to share this idea with Zhu Zhuqing that morning, but she was so busy training that she never had the chance to speak out. It would be great if Zhu Zhuqing could come here. With his knowledge of our world, he could help me change the plot better, and I wouldn't have to pretend to get along with those disgusting people. Just as this thought occurred to Zhu Zhuqing, a notification popped up in the chat group. Reminder, triggering a storyline mission. Group member Zhu Zhuqing will enter the Shrek Academy storyline. Group member Zhu Zhuqing can modify the storyline as needed. The greater the modification, the more points you earn. You can invite one group member to complete this mission together. Reminder, this storyline mission is long-term. Points will be awarded once daily at midnight based on the daily storyline changes. Invitees can freely travel between the Daluo continent world and their own world during the mission. As soon as this notification appeared, the chat group became completely lively. Linglong, I just woke up and saw this notification. It's so shocking that I lost my temper. Sister Zhuqing, how did you trigger this mission? Zhu Zhuqing, I don't know either. I was just thinking about changing the plot, and it suddenly popped up. Nami, so it can be done this way? Then wait until I get back to Kokoja village and try it. Linglong, but then again, although the method is a little different, Zhu Zhuqing really got it right. Where's he? Hasn't he gotten up yet? Zhu Zhuqing, he went to take a shower. Linglong? Nami? Linglong, how did you know he went to take a shower? Were you two together last night? When did the chat group enable the time travel feature? Could it be that I got up the wrong way? Nami, there's something wrong. There's definitely something wrong with you two. Tell the truth, what did you two do behind our backs last night? Zhu Zhuqing, no, you misunderstood. He got up early this morning to train. I just spoke to him. Linglong, where? Where? I don't see any chat history between you two. Nami, Sister Linglong, they were whispering in private chat, so of course outsiders like us wouldn't have seen them. Zhu Zhuqing blushed at what Linglong and Nami were saying. She'd only said something perfectly normal, so why had they thought about something else? Zhu Zhuqing, I said you two are almost there. It's okay for a man like me, but I'm a girl who's going to get married someday and can't handle your teasing. Linglong, oh, my, you're hurting me. Nami and I didn't say anything. Nami, yeah, some people explained a lot to others yesterday, but only said a few words to me. It's hard not to think too much about such obvious discrimination. Zhu Zhuqing, I'm afraid of you. I'll tell you everything you want to know today, one by one. Is that okay? Nami, no, your time is already reserved. I don't dare disturb you. Zhu Zhuqing, what do you mean? Linglong, why are you playing dumb? The person Zhuqing invited must be you. She couldn't possibly invite Jin-san. That curly-haired girl is still silent, so she must still be asleep. Sakata Gintoki, nonsense. Hard-working Jin-san woke up at 6 a.m. Linglong, I don't believe you. You didn't even wipe the mucus out of your eyes. Sakata Gintoki, impossible. Jin-san was seriously washing his face just now. Nami, look, that's a revelation. Sakata Gintoki, you two women actually blew me up. That's so abominable. Jin-san is magnanimous and won't bother with you. Zhuqing, Jin-san has known since yesterday that you're different from those two women, so you'll definitely invite Jin-san, right? Zhu Zhuqing, sorry, I already have someone in mind. Sakata Gintoki, damn it. Jin-san's points. They're the source of his happiness right now. Zhu Zhuqing, Xiaoqi, are you free today? You know my world better, so I'd like to invite you to join me on a quest. Linglong, what could possibly happen to him? You two should stop beating around the bush. Nami, exactly. Xiaoqi, I appreciate your invitation, but I'm not very skilled right now. Do you mind if I hold you back? It's impossible for Xiaoqi not to be tempted. Back when he was reading Dalu, he'd been bombarded with books about the thrill of the moment. They were all full of whimsical plots, but the only constant was the abuse of Tang San and Yu Zia Gang. Anyone who dared to follow Tang San's story would either be savaged by readers or completely flop. But there's nothing we can do about it. Tang San's actions are so disgusting, especially after Dalu II, when they've reached a point of outrage for both humans and gods. But even if he wants to go, there are things he must clarify with Zhu Zhuqing first. Zhu Zhuqing, it's okay, I'll protect you. Linglong, wow. Nami, please consider the feelings of the rest of us. Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san suddenly feels like I have no motivation today. Zhu Zhuqing, no, you misunderstood. What I meant was that I don't mind Xiaoqi holding me back, and this is only temporary. In the future, he will become the strongest among all of us. Linglong, do you know there's a saying that explanation is a cover-up? I'm definitely rooting for you two as a couple. Nami, what's a couple? Xiaoqi, a couple means an officially recognized couple, like Linglong and Zhang Chulin. By the way, Zhang Chulin is the male lead of Under One Person. Linglong, you're talking nonsense. Zhang Chulin and I are not a couple. Don't think I haven't watched Under One Person. I stayed up late last night and finished watching the first 2 seasons. Linglong, at this point in my time, there's still a month left before the Luotian Daijio. I don't even know any Zhang Chulin. Don't slander me. Xiaoqi, I'm treating people the way they treat me. By the way, is the toad's blood pretty? Linglong, don't mention this again, or I'll get angry. Nami, what's going on? Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san, I'll remember this. Jin-san will be hiding under the covers watching Under One Person tonight. Xiaoqi, it's okay, she's just been upset. Don't worry about her. Xiaoqi, at Zhu Zhuqing, I'll go change and get some things ready. I'll call you when I'm ready. Zhu Zhuqing, okay, I'll go clean up first. Zhu Zhuqing closed the chat group, washed her face again, and tidied her appearance. She felt a little nervous and uneasy after confirming that Xiaoqi would be coming over soon. Meanwhile, Xiaoqi casually changed into a new t-shirt and sweatpants. He didn't have any particular requirements for clothes, he just wanted something comfortable. He then went to the bank to get a few gold bars. He planned to exchange them for some gold soul coins once he arrived in Daluo continent. Xiaoqi figured that since they were gold soul coins, they were likely made of gold. After finishing his work, Xiaoqi sent a message to Zhu Zhuqing in the group chat, telling her she could come over any time. Not long after, he received a notification invitation from Zhu Zhuqing. Reminder, group member Zhu Zhuqing invites you to Daluo continent. Do you accept? Chapter 12 Daluo continent, here I come. After Xiaoqi chose yes, a white light shone from his body. After a slight dizziness, Xiaoqi felt the scene around him shift. A beautiful young woman in a black leather jacket and pants appeared not far in front of him. Zhu Zhuqing looked at Xiaoqi, who had short black hair and looked more handsome in person than in the chat group avatar. The only strange thing about her was her attire. Xiaoqi also looked across at Zhu Zhuqing, who had long black hair draped over her shoulders and fair skin. Of course, her most striking feature was her voluptuous figure, which belied her age. Hello, Zhu Zhuqing, I'm Xiaoqi. Xiaoqi walked forward and greeted her with a smile. Xiaoqi was 1.81 meters tall, making Zhu Zhuqing almost half a head shorter. He estimated her current height to be around 1.7 meters. Xiaoqi remembered that in the original novel, the woman's height was about 1.78 meters 5 years later, which was about right at her age now. Zhu Zhuqing nodded and said calmly, "Hello, I'm Zhu Zhuqing." After the two exchanged greetings, they fell silent. Zhu Zhuqing was quiet due to her personality, while Xiaoqi was nervous. Although he had previously boasted freely in the group chat, he was different in real life. Most importantly, Zhu Zhuqing was the first beautiful woman he had ever met face to face. He had never seen such a beauty at school before. He spent most of his weekends in his dorm, And even if you had seen a few beauties outside, they were all artificial. When are you going to register? Xiaoqi suppressed his inner nervousness, feeling that if he didn't speak, the atmosphere would become even more awkward. Right now, Zhu Zhuqing's voice remained flat. Xiaoqi said, "Let's go, then. We'll go to the place where you can exchange gold soul coins. I'll exchange some money. It'll be very useful later." However, Zhu Zhuqing stood there unmoved, simply looking at Xiaoqi. "Well, I'm exchanging money to bribe Flanders to get into Shrek Academy. Maybe that'll help you earn a few more points. Of course, I won't give it all to him. Some of it is for you. You know the crappy conditions at Shrek Academy. Plus, I'll need your help with some shopping later, and I'm worried you won't have enough money." Xiaoqi spoke his mind in one breath, feeling the immense pressure from Zhu Zhuqing in front of him. Zhu Zhuqing said, "You give me a completely different vibe now than you did in the chat group. Are you nervous?" Xiaoqi gave an awkward laugh and said, "To be honest, I am a little nervous. There were hardly any girls at my old school, let alone talking to a beauty like you, so I was a little uncomfortable for a while." Zhu Zhuqing, standing still, smiled. "I see. At first, I thought you'd be as adept at dealing with women as Sakata Gintoki, but it seems I was wrong. Let's go. Let's exchange money first, then go to the blacksmith shop to see how the things you need are being made." Xiaoqi paused, then quickly caught up with Zhu Zhuqing. Zhu Zhuqing was staying at an ordinary hotel in Soto City. When they checked out together, the front desk clerk looked at them strangely. However, once they walked out onto the street, everyone's attention was even greater. Zhu Zhuqing's appearance was already striking enough, but with Xiaoqi, a man in such unusual clothing, walking beside her, she naturally became the focus of everyone's attention. Zhu Zhuqing was accustomed to such stares and continued walking without a ripple of emotion. However, Xiaoqi, standing beside her, felt a little overwhelmed by the stares. At that moment, he suddenly felt that his own world, devoid of other humans, wasn't so bad after all. Xiaoqi had exchanged the gold bars she brought for a total of 3,000 gold soul coins. He wasn't sure if he'd lost money, but even if he had, he wouldn't have felt bad, since they weren't his gold bars. He placed all the gold soul coins in Zhu Zhuqing's soul guide. Xiaoqi had originally wanted her to make one for her, but since it required soul power to operate, she had to give up. The two then visited the blacksmith, who informed them that their custom-made items wouldn't be ready until tomorrow. On the way to Shrek Academy, Xiaoqi and Zhu Zhuqing discussed the next steps in the plot change. They ultimately decided to reverse everything except joining Shrek Academy, leaving the details to Xiaoqi. "Xiaoqi, wait a moment." When they were a kilometer from Shrek Academy, Zhu Zhuqing suddenly stopped and called out to Xiaoqi. Then, as he stared in shock, she took his arm. "From now on, you call me Zhuqing, and I'll call you Xiaoqi. Let's go." Zhu Zhuqing's purpose was to show Yubei that she was on the verge of a fight. Since she had decided to embark on a new path and was tasked with changing the plot, she might as well go all the way. Go? Where to? Xiaoqi felt his brain freeze. This was the first time in his life that a girl had held his arm, and the key was that this scene wasn't in their script. While Zhu Zhuqing's expression showed no sign of change, she was incredibly nervous. This was also the first time she had been so close to a man. Zhu Zhuqing, wait a moment. Xiaoqi, having regained her composure, called out to Yubei. He now had a vague idea of Zhu Zhubei's intentions. "You don't have to go this far. It'll reflect badly on you. Reputation is incredibly important to a woman in Dalo continent." No matter how much Yubei played around, he was a man, the third prince of the Xingluo Empire, and no one dared to say anything. But Zhu Zhuqing was different. If her relationship with Yubei were exposed, she would undoubtedly be reviled by many. "I never care what others think of me. If I can't even handle this, then my future path will be limited to this." Zhu Zhuqing looked at Xiaoqi, her tone filled with unwavering determination. "I understand. Let's go, Zhuqing." Since Zhu Zhuqing had made up her mind, Xiaoqi wouldn't be a man if she continued to back down. She would accompany her today and cause a scene at Shrek Academy. But before that, "Zhuqing, could you please relax a little? I'm a little uncomfortable." Zhu Zhuqing smiled slightly, tightly grasping Xiaoqi's arm. "That wouldn't be true. What do you think, Xiaoqi?" Chapter 13, Getting Started. When Xiaoqi and Zhu Zhuqing arrived at the Shrek Academy registration office, a long line had already formed. Ahead of them stood 100 applicants. Because of the crowd, Xiaoqi and Zhu Zhuqing didn't see Tang San, Xiao Wu, or Ning Rongrong. These people must have been deceived by that advertisement Shrek Academy is talking about. They're registering here just to take advantage of Shrek Academy. 10 gold soul coins per person, that's a lot of money to be made. Xiaoqi despised Shrek Academy's exploitative practices. If you had explained the registration rules clearly before enrolling, it would have been fine. Everyone would have been willing to take the risk. But you deliberately concealed the admission requirements, waited until people had paid their gold soul coins, and then refused to refund them. That's a bit too much. Just 1 gold soul coin would cover the average family's expenses for a long time, let alone 10. Zhu, standing nearby, nodded in agreement. She now understood the shady dealings at play. Zhu Zhuqing looked at Xiaoqi and said, "Do you have any good ideas?" Xiaoqi smiled and said, "I'm here to cause trouble today. Watch me." Xiaoqi patted the shoulder of the man in front of him. Next to him was a boy who looked to be 14 to 15 years old. Of course, it is not ruled out that he is as precocious as Zhu Zhuqing, but that is not important. After the man turned his head, Xiaoqi said, "Hey, big brother, are you here to sign up with your child as well?" The middle-aged man nodded and said, "Yes, what can I do for you?" Xiaoqi pretended to be ingratiating and said, "Brother, this is what I heard. Shrek Academy is very famous. After graduating, you can even become an elder of the Spirit Hall. That's the Spirit Hall, so, I brought my sister all the way here from the countryside to sign up, but who would have thought?" Xiaoqi sighed at this point, revealing a look of grievance. The middle-aged man frowned and said, "Who would have thought what happened? Tell me, I just asked about the situation of Shrek Academy in Soto City. Who would have thought that they told me that Shrek Academy doesn't even have the qualifications to run a school? Not only that, I also heard that they lured us here just to cheat the registration fee. Their admission requirements are impossible for anyone to meet. Originally, I wanted to come and take a look since I was already there, but the registration fee is 10 gold soul coins, and it cannot be refunded if you don't succeed in enrolling. Don't you say this is a rip-off? How can we people from the countryside have so much money? I saved money and left all the good things to my sister, so that she can make a name for herself. Now I encounter such a thing, what should I do? I can't go back, and I can't stay back. I just want to come here today to see if this Shrek Academy is a scam as the rumors say, and whether they will cheat ordinary civilians like us of our hard-earned money." Zhu Zhuqing, standing beside Xiaoqi, was practically stunned. The way he wiped his tears was so convincing. If she hadn't known Xiaoqi was faking it, she would have believed it. Even Zhu Zhuqing was acting like this, not to mention the middle-aged man in front of Xiaoqi. Looking at Xiaoqi's tattered clothes, he was already convinced. Who would dress like that if they weren't truly broke? Meanwhile, an argument broke out at the registration desk ahead. And those in the back could vaguely hear something like refund. Xiaoqi thought for a moment, isn't this the scene in the original novel? So she quickly said, "Brother, it seems that what I heard is true. This Shrek Academy really is using the name of enrollment to cheat the registration fees of poor people like us. Although I am poor, I am not poor in ambition. Today I will make public what they have done, and I can't let other poor people like me be deceived." After Xiaoqi finished speaking, she took Zhu Zhuqing to the person in front of the middle-aged man and continued to play the victim. What Xiaoqi didn't expect was that this middle-aged man also had a bad temper. As the noise in front became louder and louder, they heard what happened in front more and more clearly, and then they started cursing. "Damn it, this crappy Shrek Academy is really a piece of shit. I'm going to make a scene here today and see what they can do to me. Fellow villagers, let's go to the front together to help those who were cheated to get their money back, and then we will go together to report them and let them close down as soon as possible." What happened here spread from 1 to 10, and from 10 to 100. When more and more people heard about these things, they shared a common hatred and everyone rushed to the registration office with anger on their faces. Xiaoqi and Zhu Zhuqing slowly withdrew from the crowd. He watched the increasingly lively scene ahead and chuckled. Shrek Academy is in for a fight now. This is what they call reaping what they sow. Today, I'm going to make them pay back all the money they spent on food. Zhu Zhuqing stared blankly at Xiaoqi. After a long pause, she asked, "Have you ever cheated on girls like this before?" Xiaoqi was speechless. "Zhuqing, You can't slander me. I still don't even have a girlfriend. You're such a good pretender, I wouldn't believe you. All men are liars. Zhu Zhuqing said this, but she didn't let go of his arm. Just as Xiaoqi was about to have a proper conversation with Zhu Zhuqing, he noticed a familiar figure approaching them, a strange smile on her face. What's she doing here? Is she looking for me? Xiaoqi muttered softly. At that moment, Zhu Zhuqing's icy voice echoed in his ear. Is Linglong pretty? She's okay, but not as pretty as you, Xiaoqi replied subconsciously. The Linglong now approaching him, judging by her attire, looked like someone from the anime version of Dalu, not the one described in the novel. This proved that the world Zhu Zhuqing inhabited was the original. Then you're still looking? You're not allowed to. Zhu Zhuqing's icy voice rang out again, and she placed herself in front of Xiaoqi. Linglong seemed to ignore Zhu Zhuqing as she walked straight up to Xiaoqi, looked up at him, and smiled. Hello, my name is Linglong. You acted well in that scene just now, but unfortunately you couldn't fool me. Xiaoqi frowned and said, sorry, I don't understand you. Zhu Zhuqing said coldly, go away. You're not welcome here. What would they do to you and your sister if I told them about your deception? Linglong's smile remained, but she deliberately emphasized the word brother and sister, just as the atmosphere between them was growing increasingly tense. Linglong extended her hand and said, I was just kidding. I won't tell anyone about you. I just thought what you did was funny. So I wanted to get to know you, Xiaoqi said calmly. Sorry, I don't want to get to know you. If you want to tell others about what happened just now, please go ahead. If you don't have anything else to do, please don't disturb us. Chapter 14 Daimube with a green grassland on his head. You, Linglong's smile vanished. Growing up, she'd always been courted by others. Today, she'd rarely taken the initiative to show her affection, only to have them completely ignore her. This left her feeling deeply upset. Just when Xiaoqi and Zhu Zhuqing thought Linglong was about to reveal her true nature, a smile crept back onto her face. At the same time, cheers erupted from the registration area ahead of them, and the crowd dispersed in twos and threes. The middle-aged man from before walked up to Xiaoqi and said with a smile, little brother, didn't you see the expressions on those Shrek Academy guys' faces just now? It was so satisfying, Xiaoqi asked. What's wrong, brother? Did they just return all the registration fees we collected? How dare these bastards refuse to return their money? The middle-aged man cursed angrily, then continued, they wanted to use force to drive us out at first, but how could we, 100 or so people, be afraid of them? I told them straight up, either kill us all today or return our money, or we'll collectively report them and shut down their crappy academy. And they were scared. It was so satisfying. Brother, you're so cool. Xiaoqi gave him a thumbs up. Hey, no way. Everyone has a responsibility to deal with these scammers. The middle-aged man noticed Linglong standing next to Xiaoqi and smiled a smile that any man would understand. Little brother, I still have to take my son to register for another school, so I won't bother you anymore. See you again. Goodbye, big brother. Xiaoqi waved and said, goodbye, old man, looking at the registration desk ahead, where only two children, a boy and a girl, and a blonde man remained. Xiaoqi said, Zhuqing, let's go over and register. Zhu Zhuqing tightened her grip on Xiaoqi's arm and said, okay, you two wait for me. Linglong, seeing the other party completely ignoring her, stamped her foot in anger and quickly ran after them. When Xiaoqi and the other two arrived at the registration desk, the boy and girl who had been there had just passed the preliminary exam and were about to be admitted to the academy by the blonde man. Hello, we're here to register, Xiaoqi said calmly to the elderly man, Liu Song, while glancing at Tang Sen, Xiao Wu, and Daimube nearby. Xiaoqi's words attracted the attention of the three of them, and they all turned to look at him. When Daimube noticed Zhu Zhuqing holding Xiaoqi's arm, his pupils suddenly contracted. He was very sure that he had seen her somewhere before, but he couldn't remember where for a moment. Liu Song frowned at Xiaoqi in front of him and said coldly, kid, you saw what happened just now. Aren't you afraid that your registration fee will be wasted? To be honest, my admiration for Shrek Academy is like a torrent of water, and the name of Dean Flender is even more famous. I came here from afar just to see the style of Shrek Academy, so a mere registration fee is nothing compared to my admiration for Shrek Academy. As soon as Xiaoqi finished speaking, Zhu Zhuqing almost couldn't help laughing. How could this person lie so openly? Linglong, on the other hand, was much more direct and burst out laughing on the spot, thinking to herself, this man is so funny. She is now becoming more and more interested in Xiaoqi. Xiaowu looked at Tang San and said, brother, this person is just like you. They came here for the reputation. Tang San nodded and said, yes, I didn't expect there would be such a discerning person in this world. It's a pity that he is destined to not pass the assessment here at his age. Little brother, since you admire us Shrek Academy so much, I won't hide it from you. You can't pass our assessment at your age, so don't waste this money. Li Yusong's eyes were much kinder when he looked at Xiaoqi, and his tone was not as cold as before. Xiaoqi smiled and said, of course I know the admission requirements of Shrek Academy. I'm here to register with my girlfriend. She is not only beautiful, but also kind-hearted. The most important thing is that she is very talented. It took me 10 years to chase her. It is the greatest blessing in my life to find a girlfriend like her. I usually hold her in my hands for fear of dropping her, and I hold her in my mouth for fear of her melting. I'm telling you, ouch. Zhu Zhuqing couldn't stand it any longer and pinched Xiaoqi in annoyance. At first, she was very happy to hear it, but this guy kept talking more and more outrageous. He said that he had been chasing her for 10 years, and she was less than 2 years old 10 years ago. Everyone present was scowling. Li Yusong calmed down and said, how about this? If your girlfriend can pass my assessment, I'll waive your registration fee. Thank you very much. Xiaoqi smiled, looking at Zhu Zhuqing and saying, go ahead. Don't worry about anything else. Zhu Zhuqing nodded, walked over to Li Yusong, and held out her hand. Li Yusong squeezed Zhu Zhuqing's hand and nodded, saying, you're of the right age. Unleash your spirit. Zhu Zhuqing turned to look at Xiaoqi. Seeing her smile and nod, she activated her spirit power. This is, Li Yusong exclaimed as Zhu Zhuqing's spirit was revealed. He naturally recognized the spirit of the nether spirit cat and instinctively turned to look at Daimubei. Daimubei looked at Zhu Zhuqing in disbelief. He could already vaguely guess her identity, but the thought of her just holding another man's arm suddenly made him look fierce. However, he didn't choose to make trouble at this moment. He needed to confirm some things. Zhu Zhuqing said coldly, did I pass? Yes, Mubei, take her in. Li Yusong sat back in his chair. Even though he had guessed something, he didn't care. He was only responsible for the assessment, the rest was none of his business. Yes, Daimubei came forward, looked at Xiaoqi coldly and said, she passed the assessment and can enter, but you can't. Zhu Zhuqing came to Xiaoqi's side, took his arm, looked at Daimubei and said coldly, wherever he is, there I am. Daimubei frowned and whispered, you'd better remember your identity. I'll settle the score with you later. Xiaoqi stepped forward and stood in front of Zhu Zhuqing, looking directly at Daimubei and said, my classmate, although my girlfriend is very beautiful and everyone loves her, it's not appropriate for you to be so blatantly attracted by her beauty in broad daylight. Do you want to embarrass your Shrek Academy and ruin the reputation of your academy? You, Mubei, enough. This is Shrek Academy. Li Yusong interrupted Daimubei with a light shout. Something like that had just happened. If Daimubei continued to make trouble, the reputation of their Shrek Academy here would be completely ruined. Li Yusong looked at Xiaoqi and said, my dear brother, what Mubei said before is correct. Only those who pass my assessment can enter, so, you can either wait for your girlfriend here or go back. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15, The Delicious Big Sausage. Teacher, I'm here to discuss investment with your Dean Flanders. I believe my girlfriend's talent shouldn't be a problem for her to eventually join Shrek Academy. Excuse me, Shrek Academy is renowned, but its facilities are a bit dated. I'd appreciate it if you could allow me to accompany my girlfriend to the upcoming assessments, so I can also see if there are any areas that need improvement. If that doesn't work, then, though I'm a little disappointed, I'll have to take her to another academy. Xiaoqi said this and stood calmly, awaiting the other party's response. He was certain the other party would agree. For a rubbish academy like Shrek, where the application fee was a rip-off, how could he refuse such a free ride? Li Yusong's expression was conflicted. He certainly didn't want to miss out on a gifted student like Zhu Zhuqing, let alone the man beside her willing to invest in them. He knew all too well how broke Shrek Academy was. He himself hadn't received a salary in months. But his current concern was Daimube. Judging from his previous behavior, he must have recognized the identity of the girl before him. Daimube was now even more anxious. He had already fully confirmed Zhu Zhuqing's identity. If he let her go now, it would be even more difficult for him to find her in the future. However, he couldn't bring himself to speak up for Xiaoqi, the man who had stolen his fiancée. Not beating him up was the limit of his patience. If you don't let him in, then I won't sign up either. At this moment, Linglong, who had been silent all this time, suddenly spoke up. After watching the drama for a long time, she now understood that there was definitely a story between these three people, and she loved nothing more than joining in the fun. Who are you? Li Yusong looked at Linglong, who was standing on the other side of Xiaoqi. He had previously ignored her completely, assuming she was accompanying Xiaoqi and the others to sign up. HMPH, Linglong snorted, immediately revealing her martial spirit in 2 yellow spirit rings. 7 treasures glazed pagoda. This time, Tang San and Li Yusong exclaimed in surprise. Xiao Wu tugged at Tang San and asked curiously, "Brother, what is the 7 treasures glazed pagoda? Is this spirit very powerful?" Xiao Wu, the so-called 7 treasures glazed pagoda is. While Tang San was showing off his knowledge, Li Yusong inquired about Linglong's identity. "My father is Ning Fengzi," Linglong said proudly, then looked at Xiaoqi and said, "Since they won't let you in, let's go to another academy." Li Yusong said anxiously, "Wait, since he's a friend of your 7 treasures glazed tile sect, he can go in." Mubei, take them in for the second round of the assessment. The person in front of him was the daughter of the 7 treasures glazed tile sect's leader. If he let her escape today, that old man Flender would probably skin him alive, not just pay him. "Yes," Daimube replied, giving Zhu Zhuqing a deep look before coming to Tang San and smiling. "Come with me, let's go." Xiaoqi and Zhu Zhuqing followed, completely ignoring Linglong beside them. Linglong didn't get angry. She trotted over to Xiaoqi and asked, "Hey, that guy was so hostile to you just now. Was it because you stole his girlfriend? I just helped you so much? Shouldn't you thank me?" However, no matter what Linglong asked, Xiaoqi showed no interest in answering her, which infuriated Linglong to no end. "It's so shabby. Even a dog wouldn't want to come to a place like this," Xiaoqi muttered quietly, surveying the surroundings. Zhu Zhuqing pinched him hard and said angrily, "Who are you insulting?" Hiss. Xiaoqi gasped in pain and said aggrievedly, "I mean, you're the most beautiful sight here." "That's more like it," Zhu Zhuqing said with a faint smile. Just then, the sound of a sausage vendor came from the front. Xiaoqi's eyes lit up, and she looked at Zhu Zhuqing and said, "Zhuqing, give me a gold soul coin so I can go buy something. Don't eat something that disgusting. If you're hungry, we'll go to Soto City to eat later." Zhu Zhuqing felt nauseous at the mere thought of Oscar's disgusting spell. She didn't even want to look at it, let alone eat it. "Zhuqing, this thing will be very useful to me. I'll explain the details later." As a modern person from the 21st century, Xiaoqi didn't care about Oscar's spell at all. Oscar's recovery sausages were a treasure for him. Although they only had a shelf life of 12 hours, he could use that time to push himself into frantic cultivation. Linglong said from the side, "It's just a few sausages. I'll treat you, don't mind your own business." "I'll buy him what he wants," Zhu Zhuqing said, pulling Xiaoqi towards Oscar's sausage stall. Daimube naturally observed their situation. "Brother, should we go and warn them?" Xiao Wu had wanted to eat sausages before, but after Daimube's explanation, she now had a lingering regret for them. Daimube said coldly, "Don't worry about them. It's okay to eat that sausage anyway. It'll just make you sick at most." Tang San shook his head at Xiao Wu. He didn't want to get involved in the feud between Daimube and that group. Oscar's eyes lit up when he saw 2 beautiful women approaching him. He called out enthusiastically, "Handsome, beautiful, would you like a sausage?" Oscar brand sausages are not only delicious, but also affordable. Xiaoqi placed a gold soul coin on Oscar's cart and said, "Boss, pack up all the sausages in your cart and all the sausages you can make. Don't miss a single one. Hurry and make them." "Huh?" Oscar was stunned. He had never encountered such a generous customer before. Xiaoqi said with amusement, "Why are you standing there? Hurry up." Oh, okay." Just as Oscar was packing, Xiaoqi slapped Linglong's hand away, trying to steal something. If you want some, I'll have him make you a fresh one later. It's my treat. Hearing this, Linglong no longer cared about Xiaoqi's rough treatment and urged Oscar to move faster. Here, I've packed everything for you. Thank you for your patronage. Xiaoqi didn't take the food from Oscar's hand. She frowned and said, my friend, that's not the right amount. I just said I wanted to buy all the sausages in your car and all the sausages you can make. This, Oscar hesitated. Family knows family. If he recited that spell, the other party would probably regret it. He didn't want to lose this gold soul coin. Daimyo approached Tang Sen and Xiao Wu. Oscar, make it for him. I want to see if he'll eat your sausage. He's already paid, so he can't possibly change his mind. Xiaoqi smiled. Don't worry. As long as your sausage is good, I'll definitely take it. Okay, Oscar sighed. Helplessly extending his right hand and calling out in a rather obscene voice, I've got a big sausage. A yellow light suddenly condensed in his palm, and soon, a sausage identical to the one before appeared within. Ugh, Linglong, Tang Sen, and Xiao Wu froze at Oscar's obscene incantation. Although Zhu Zhuqing had seen it in anime, she couldn't help but feel nauseous upon seeing it in person for the first time. Daimyo looked at Xiaoqi with a teasing expression. Feeling the contemptuous glances from the women in front of him, Oscar quickly explained, I'm a food-type spirit master. When using a food-type martial spirit, I must chant a spirit spell. I didn't mean to yell that, but my sausage is absolutely fine. I can guarantee that with my life. Xiaoqi smiled, took the sausage from Oscar's hand, and devoured it bite by bite as everyone stared at her in shock. Zhu Zhuqing, it tastes great, so fragrant. Would you like one too? Chapter 16, Graduates of Shrek Academy? This is all bullshit. Daimyo's smile faded, and the others looked at Xiaoqi as if she were idiots. Zhu Zhuqing instinctively took a step back, shaking her head frantically, her face filled with resistance. Xiaoqi looked at Oscar and said, Oscar, right? Your sausages taste great. Keep going. You still owe me a lot. Okay, I'll make them for you right away. Oscar's face was briefly shocked, then filled with a smile. This was the first time someone hadn't complained about his sausages after hearing him chant a spell. However, his smile soon faded, and his face gradually paled. Here, this is the last one. I really can't make any more. Oscar, his soul power exhausted, handed the last sausage to Xiaoqi and collapsed to the ground. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you. I'll come back next time. Xiaoqi looked at a dozen or so sausages in his hand with satisfaction. With these sausages, he would be able to play tricks later. Xiaoqi took out a sausage, looked at Linglong, and smiled. By the way, I said I'd treat you to some sausage. Do you still want some? No, thanks. I'm not hungry right now. Thank you. Linglong gave him an awkward yet polite smile. Zhu Zhuqing, noticing Xiaoqi's gaze, said coldly, Don't look at me. I won't eat this, even if I die. Xiaoqi smiled and said, I'll remember this for you. Daimyo then led the group to the second round of the assessment. Due to the previous incident, the place was mostly deserted, so there was no need to queue. The second round tested their spirit power, just as in the original novel. With the exception of Xiaoqi, everyone passed smoothly. Tang Sen and Xiao Wu were level 29, Linglong was level 26, and Zhu Zhuqing was level 27. They also skipped the third round. On the way to the fourth round, Daimyo recounted Shrek Academy's past glorious achievements. Well, Shrek Academy is truly impressive, as expected. Xiaoqi flattered Daimyo after he finished. Experienced Zhu Zhuqing and Linglong knew from his expression what tricks he was up to. The moment they finished their thoughts, Xiaoqi began his performance. Zhuqing, you need to study hard here, okay? Even us country folk know the minimum requirement to become a Spirit Hall Elder is to reach title Daluo. Shrek Academy has only been open for 20 years, and they've already produced a title Daluo. I calculated, their admission requirement is under 13 years old. Holy crap, under 40 to become a title Daluo. In my entire life, I've never even seen a Soul King, let alone a title Daluo. Why don't we get married soon after you graduate? Otherwise, I'm afraid you won't look down on me after you become a title Daluo. You know I'm not very good at anything except spending money and eating. Xiaoqi finished, winking playfully at Zhu Zhuqing. Zhu Zhuqing felt her expression nearly falter. This Xiaoqi was being mean, but her words were incredibly helpful. Tang San and Xiao Wu had already started asking Daimyo for that person's name. But what surprised her most was Zhu Zhuqing's final words. Thinking of Zhu Zhuqing's proposal of marriage, Zhu Zhuqing lowered her head, blushing, and whispered, "I won't despise you. If you want, we can get married after I graduate." Zhu Zhuqing mentally praised Zhu Zhuqing's performance and continued, "Zhuqing, meeting a good girl like you is the blessing of my life. Don't worry, I would never do something like abandoning you, something only scumbags would do. I will protect you my whole life, I know." "Stop it, there are so many people watching." Zhu Zhuqing had never heard such cheesy love talk before. Although she knew Zhu Zhuqing was just trying to disgust Daimyo and vent her anger, she was almost unable to bear it. Daimyo, who had been trying to put off Tang San and Xiao Wu, suddenly darkened when he heard these words. Zhu Zhuqing had no time to care about what Daimyo was thinking. His performance was not over yet. She came to Linglong and said, "Your name is Linglong, right? Since we have met, I would like to kindly remind you that your senior just now said that Shrek Academy has had a total of 62 students, but only 14 graduated. Do you know what this means?" Linglong shook her head and said, "What is it?" Zhu Zhuqing said, "Let me tell you this, Shrek Academy has such high admissions requirements. People like you would be geniuses in other academies, so I'm wondering why you geniuses can't cultivate to level 40 before the age of 20, is it because of laziness? I don't think it's likely. After all, geniuses are proud of their geniuses. But your senior just said that some people died while hunting soul beasts. Although I don't know how many of the 48 people who didn't graduate died that way, I think the number should not be low, so you better be careful from now on. After all, even us country folk know your 7 treasures glazed pagoda spirit is a support type spirit. It's very easy to get into danger when hunting soul beasts." Zhu Zhuqing's words shocked Linglong, and her face turned pale. She hadn't really considered that before, but now it seemed possible. For example, she was only 12 years old and at level 26. With her talent, even if she'd been lazy, she wouldn't have reached level 40 in 8 years. So, where were all the talented Shrek Academy graduates who hadn't graduated? Linglong felt there was a high probability that most of them had perished while hunting soul beasts. And since she was a support-type spirit master with no combat power, would she end up likewise? Linglong was truly terrified at this thought. She had escaped from home, not wanting to die outside. Zhu Zhuqing, thank you for reminding me. I'm not really interested in studying here anymore. How about you and Zhu Zhuqing come with me? I can take you back to the 7 treasures glazed tile sect. Xiao Wu then said, "Brother, I think what Zhu Zhuqing said makes sense. Why don't we switch academies? I don't want anything to happen to you." This, Daimyo was at a loss for words as he watched them all quit Shrek Academy. As for whether Zhu Zhuqing was deliberately trying to stir up trouble, he couldn't find any fault with what she had just said. Tang San was also hesitant. Daimyo's previous words had deeply shocked him, and he felt that Shrek Academy was indeed different from other academies. But after listening to Zhu Zhuqing's analysis, he was no longer so sure. When he had asked Daimyo the name of the person who had become a titled Daluo, Daimyo had been hesitant and unable to answer. Besides, hunting soul beasts was indeed dangerous, but the mortality rate at Shrek Academy was far too high. "Teacher, are you mistaken? This Shrek Academy may not be as good as you said." Tang San began to doubt Zhu Zhuqing's decision to let him come here to study. Chapter 17 One word, absolutely. Zhu Zhuqing, at Zhu Zhuqing, how did I perform? Look at the expressions on their faces now, especially Daimyo's, his face has turned green. I almost burst out laughing. Zhu Zhuqing, how can you be so mean? Thank you for speaking up for me, Zhu Zhuqing. Hey, that's just the beginning. If I had to stay here forever, I would definitely tear this Shrek Academy apart. Linglong, you two seem to be having a lot of fun. I envy you, Sakata Gintoki. Jin-san doesn't care about anything else. Jin-san just wants to know how Zhuqing is in person. Zhu Zhuqing, in one word, absolutely amazing. Sakata Gintoki, how absolutely amazing. Zhu Zhuqing, Black Zetsu. Sakata Gintoki, Masaka, you're really open with Zhuqing. Zhu Zhuqing, as expected, you're the one who's good at making jokes. Jin-san, Linglong, what's going on between you two? Zhu Zhuqing, nothing much. By the way, would you like some of Daluo Continent's local sausages? They're so fragrant and delicious. Zhuqing just showed off several of them. Zhu Zhuqing. Sakuragi Hanamichi, Brother Su, I want some. Linglong, let me have one too, to try some delicacies from other worlds. Xiaoqi, Sakuragi, you finally spoke up, but why did you call me brother? Sakuragi Hanamichi, Yohei said you're amazing and asked me to keep you close. Besides, you're older than me, too. Xiaoqi, you're really honest. By the way, have you enrolled in Xiangbai High School yet? Sakuragi Hanamichi, I just graduated from junior high school. Brother Su, can you teach me how to chase girls? Xiaoqi, that's all? Just a little help, but I'm a little busy right now. But remember, if you want to chase girls, you first have to learn how to play basketball and get a buzz cut. Sakuragi Hanamichi, okay, I got it. Xiaoqi, it's almost time. I've sent you sausages in red envelopes. One sausage for each of you. We'll talk later. Zhu Zhuqing looked at Xiaoqi and sent sausages to several people in the group like a thief, and whispered, wait until they find out where these sausages came from, and see what you will do. Xiaoqi smiled and said, it's okay. Maybe they all like to eat them. Okay, the two of us have been out for the bathroom long enough. Let's go back and see the situation. Zhu Zhuqing habitually stepped forward and took Xiaoqi's arm and said, you are so good at chasing girls, but you say you have never had a girlfriend, you liar. Xiaoqi smiled bitterly and said, I only know some theories, and after reading the plot, it is not easy to chase someone. The innate advantages are too great. Zhu Zhuqing snorted coldly and said, I don't believe you. You are full of bad water. When Xiaoqi and Zhu Zhuqing returned to their previous place, Linglong hurriedly stepped forward and said, Xiaoqi, I have thought it through. I will not go to school here. It's too scary here. Xiaoqi glanced at Tang San and Xiao not far in front of her. Xiao was still persuading Tang San to leave, while Tang San was silent on the side. As for that idiot Daimyo Bei, he stood aside with his arms folded, his expression clearly showing his displeasure. Xiaoqi now had two choices: withdraw from Shrek Academy with Zhu Zhuqing and Linglong, or stay and continue the storyline as described in the original novel. While both options would earn points, after careful consideration, Xiaoqi chose the latter. The amount of points wasn't a significant concern. What he and Zhu Zhuqing needed most was time. Once they grew stronger, they could indulge themselves as they pleased. Until then, sticking with the original storyline was safer and would also prevent them from having any future opportunities. Linglong, Zhuqing just talked to me. She said she doesn't want to give up halfway. Although it will be very dangerous, she doesn't want to give up. I thought about it and I think what she said makes sense. Although the graduation rate here is very low, why can't we be among those who successfully graduate? And what I said before was just my personal guess. Maybe your senior remembered it wrong. It's quite dangerous for a little girl like you to run around outside. Why don't you go and take a look at the final assessment first? What do you think? Linglong lowered her head and thought for a while. At this time, Tang San walked up to Xiaoqi, looked at him and smiled. My friend, I think what you said makes sense. I have decided to stay and take a look, brother. Xiao became anxious when she heard this, but before she could continue, Tang San touched her hair and smiled. Xiao, if I don't even have this little courage, then I won't achieve anything in my life. Don't worry, Xiao, I will protect you no matter what danger you encounter. If anyone wants to hurt you, they have to step over my dead body first. Xiao threw herself into Tang San's arms and said, brother, you're so kind. Since you've decided to stay, Xiao will stay with you. Xiaoqi felt goosebumps rising at the sight. How could you, Tang San, a man who's already 40 years old in all your past and present lives, have the nerve to coax a young girl? No, that little rabbit, Xiao, was actually several years older than Tang San. Seeing Daimyo Bei's gaze, Xiaoqi turned to Zhu Zhuqing and said, Zhuqing, will you always protect me? You know, I can't live without you. Zhu Zhuqing frowned, thinking that a Saiyan like you could still protect me. She reached out and secretly pinched Xiaoqi before saying gently, yes, unless I die. Xiaoqi mimicked Xiao's tone and said, Zhuqing, you're so kind. From now on, I'll go wherever you go. What a loser, Daimyo Bei cursed inwardly. He would definitely take Zhu Zhuqing back, and in front of Xiaoqi. Linglong then raised her head and said, Xiaoqi, I'll listen to you. I'll stay and see what happens, Daimyo Bei said. Since you've all made up your mind, follow me. Daimyubei led the group to an open space, where a middle-aged man dozed in a chair. Xiaoqi and Zhu Zhuqing both knew that he was Zhao Wuji, one of the Shrek Academy teachers. Unlike in the original novel, Daimyubei didn't immediately wake him up. Instead, he walked over to Zhao Wuji, gently nudged him, and when he woke, whispered something in his ear. Zhao Wuji's face lit up with excitement at first, but then darkened again. By the time Daimyubei finished speaking, he had risen from his chair. I'm your examiner for the final round. My name is Zhao Wuji. My soul power is level 76, and my martial soul is the mighty King Kong Bear. As long as you pass me, you can become a member of Shrek Academy. I'll give you 1 stick of incense. Zhao Wuji pointed at Tang Sen, Xiao Wu, and Linglong, then continued, after 1 stick of incense, as long as the 3 of you work together to withstand my attacks for half an incense stick, as long as one of you can hold out to the end, you'll pass. As for the other 2, your assessment is to hold out against Mu Bai for 1 stick of incense. As long as you can hold out or defeat him, you'll pass. Chapter 18, Challenging Xiaoqi. What? Zhao Wuji's words sent everyone into an uproar. Wait, that's not fair, Linglong protested. Let's not even talk about whether the 3 of us can hold our own for half an incense stick of time. Xiaoqi isn't here to enroll, and he's just an ordinary person. Making him fight Daimyubei is like sending him to his death. Xiao Wu nodded and said, yes, I think this test is ridiculous, too. Zhao Wuji looked at Xiaoqi and said, boy, I heard from Mubei that you love your girlfriend so much. Since you love her so much, I'll give you a chance. If you both pass the test, I can let you stay here and study with me. Of course, if you don't dare, I won't force you, but please leave immediately. Our Shrek Academy isn't for just anybody. Xiaoqi noticed Daimyubei looking at him with a teasing look. He had been wondering how he could stand all the affectionate displays he and Zhu Zhuqing were displaying, given his temper. It turned out he was waiting for him. He saw that she was just an ordinary person and wanted to teach her a lesson, perhaps even cripple her. I won't let him hurt you. Zhu Zhuqing also saw Daimyubei's intentions. She felt nothing but disgust for this filthy-minded villain. Daimyubei smiled and said, what? You're not more courageous than a woman, are you? Don't worry, I'll definitely show mercy later. After all, I'm deeply moved by your relationship, silly bastard, Xiaoqi said to him, then looked at Zhao Wuji and said, Zhao chicken, right? You said you're not a child anymore. What's the point of bullying a bunch of children? I'll fight you for half an incense stick of time. If I can hold out, they'll pass the test. If I can't, they'll be gone immediately, but I'm just an ordinary person without even soul power. We'll compete in fists and kicks later. If you use soul power, you lose. How is that? Xiaoqi had originally wanted to play with them as an ordinary person for a while longer, but since Daimyubei now wanted to cripple her, how could he possibly tolerate him? He felt the Saiyan's warlike nature awaken within him. Although his current fighting power was still very low, Saiyans were never afraid of fighting. He wasn't going to fight blindly. If it was just a fight of fists and feet, with his current Saiyan physique, he should be able to last for more than an incense stick of time. Moreover, fighting against the stronger ones was the fastest way for Saiyans to train, and he wouldn't have such an opportunity after returning to his own world. Xiaoqi's words surprised everyone present even more than what Zhao Wuji had said before. They all thought Xiaoqi was either crazy or had lost her mind. An ordinary person challenging a soul saint, even if it was just a fight of fists and feet, was this something a normal person could do? Zhu Zhuqing, the first to react, grabbed Xiaoqi's clothes and said anxiously, you can't do this. The worst that can happen is that I won't be here anymore. I don't care how many points I have. Xiaoqi held her hand and said, Zhuqing, this is not just for you, but for me too. You know who I am. In the future, you'll understand how much people like us crave battle, then I'll fight just like you. I'm your girlfriend now. Zhu Zhuqing was now truly anxious. She had indeed watched a few episodes of Dragon Ball Z and knew a little about the Saiyan named Kakarot. But Xiaoqi's situation was different. He was still just a weakling who couldn't fight. In her eyes, such behavior was tantamount to seeking death. Linglong grabbed Xiaoqi's hand and said, Xiaoqi, let's get out of here. I'm done with Shrek Academy. The people here are too much. Just then, Zhao Wuji shouted, boy, I admire your courage. I've changed my mind. I'll do as you say, but I warn you, I won't show any mercy. Zhao Wuji then produced a stick of incense from somewhere, flicked his finger around the end, and lit it. With a flick of his finger, he thrust it into the ground. Zhao Wuji sat back in his chair, closed his eyes, and went back to sleep. Xiaoqi smiled and said, "Alright, it's too late to regret now. Let me rest for a while." Xiaoqi ignored the pleas from Zhu Zhuqing and Linglong, walked to an open space, sat down, and closed her eyes. Daimubei looked at Xiaoqi, who was resting with her eyes closed, with a deep sense of disdain. "You useless piece of shit, I wonder how long you can keep pretending. I originally only wanted you to lie down for 10 days or half a month, but since you're courting death now, I'll watch you get beaten to death by teacher Zhao." Xiao Wu looked towards Xiaoqi and said, "I didn't expect this Xiaoqi to be quite manly." "What a pity." Tang San caressed her hair lovingly and said, "Xiao Wu, let's rest for a while. We still have to fight teacher Zhao later." Previously, because of Xiaoqi's words, Tang San had inwardly thought highly of her. He thought that although she was just an ordinary person, she had unique insights. While not as good as his teacher, she was still quite good among ordinary people. But now it seems that he was overthinking it. In the end, she was just a reckless man with courage but no strategy. Tang San disdained to associate with such a person. "Zhu Zhuqing, Xiaoqi, talk to me." Zhu Zhuqing was furious. No matter how she called out to Xiaoqi, she ignored her. "Lu Linglong, what's wrong with you?" Sakata Gintoki, judging from Jin-san's years of single life, Xiaoqi must have done something to anger our sister, Zhuqing. "By the way, do you still have that delicious sausage?" Zhuqing, Xiaoqi, go back to your own world right now. You're not welcome here. Lu Linglong, hiss, this isn't right. What on earth happened to Zhuqing? Tell us. We're so worried sick. Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san will teach him a lesson for you. Lu Linglong, at Nami, come out quickly. Something's wrong. Nami, what happened? I'm preparing to deal with the Black Cat pirates. Lu Linglong, we don't know what happened either. They were fine before. Zhuqing, since you want to die, I'll accompany you. Lu Linglong, oh my god, at Xiaoqi, come out right now. What the hell are you doing? Nami, at Xiaoqi, if you don't come out, I'll beat you up. Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san is about to stuff into your mouth. Xiaoqi, what's going on? I just accidentally fell asleep. I got up too early today and I'm a little sleepy now. Lu Linglong, Nami, Sakata Gintoki, Jin-san, I'll always admire you. You can actually sleep at this time? Don't you see how worried the girls are, you bastard? Lu Linglong, at Xiaoqi, what the hell are you doing right now? Zhuqing is almost pissed off. Xiaoqi, it's nothing. I'm just going to fight someone with a little bit of strength soon. Zhu Zhuqing, we're boyfriend and girlfriend now. I want to fight with you. Sakata Gintoki, Lu Linglong, Nami, Lu Linglong, so what the hell are you two doing? We're getting more and more confused. Explain it to me, bastard. Chapter 19, Challenging Xiaoqi. Xiaoqi took considerable time to explain to the group chat what had happened, including his and Zhu Zhuqing's supposed relationship. He then told the group members not to worry and that he would update them as soon as possible, then left the chat. Zhuqing, are you still angry? I just explained everything to you. Xiaoqi carefully tugged at Zhu Zhuqing's clothes. He had just managed to persuade her to stop fighting, but she had been harshly criticized by the other group members. Zhu Zhuqing slapped Xiaoqi's hand away, saying coldly, don't touch me. Intimacy between men and women is forbidden. Xiaoqi said awkwardly, withdrawing her hand. You were holding my arm just now, straight man. Zhu Zhuqing turned around and cursed, the meaning of these two words she had just learned. Boy, get ready to begin. Zhao Wuji's booming voice echoed through the open space. Everyone turned to look, and the incense stick on the ground had burned out. Xiaoqi stood up, patted the dust off her pants and said, I almost fell asleep waiting. Zhu Zhuqing also stood up and blocked Xiaoqi's way and said, if I find something wrong, I will rush in to save you. Xiaoqi smiled and said, you are not angry anymore? I thought you were going to ignore me forever. You are so funny. Zhu Zhuqing rolled her eyes at him and said lightly, let's go eat after this. I'm a little hungry. Linglong came here at some point and said, I want to go too. I'll treat you guys. Xiaoqi, come on. Thank you. Xiaoqi smiled at Linglong. then looked at Zhu Zhuqing and said, I'm going to eat a lot in a while. Don't be scared by my appearance. Zhao Wuji on the other side stood up and stretched his muscles, then conjured up another stick of incense and lit it. Wait until it is halfway burned and the competition is over. I'll let you attack first. Come on. At this moment, everyone present looked at Xiaoqi. Some were ready to see him make a fool of himself, some were just there to watch the show, and some were cheering for him, but Zhu Zhuqing was the only one who was most worried about him. Xiaoqi, who didn't know any moves, swung her fist and rushed towards Zhao Wuji. Zhao Wuji on the opposite side looked at Xiaoqi rushing towards him without any plan, and the corner of his mouth raised slightly, revealing a contemptuous smile. Xiaoqi rushed in front of Zhao Wuji and yelled, swinging his fist towards Zhao Wuji's head. Fuck, why is this guy's head so hard? Xiaoqi shook his painful hand, but before he could think about it, he heard Zhao Wuji's joking voice. Boy, haven't you eaten? This little strength is not even enough to tickle me, just consider this punch as a gift for you coming all the way here. It's my turn next, not good. Xiaoqi was startled and jumped back suddenly, putting some distance between her and Zhao Wuji. At this moment, Zhao Wuji moved, half crouching to gather strength before rushing towards Xiaoqi. Zhao Wuji's speed far exceeded Xiaoqi's expectations. Facing the swift punch heading for his face, he had no time to dodge and could only raise his arms to protect his head. With a bang, Xiaoqi felt as if she had been hit by a truck and flew backwards uncontrollably. Xiaoqi, Zhu Zhuqing and Linglong, who were watching the fight from the side, exclaimed in surprise at the same time, while Tang San and Xiao Wu on the other side did not react much, as this result was already expected by them. Waste, this is the result of overestimating your own abilities. Dai Mubei was extremely pleased. Although he could see that Zhao Wuji was not using his full strength, such a punch was definitely not something an ordinary person could withstand. His hands were probably now useless. What a waste of my time. Zhao Wuji looked at Xiaoqi lying on the ground with a look of disdain, then looked at Tang San and the others and said, it's your turn now. This incense stick is still burning. You all can go up together. It's still the same rules as before. Tang San glanced into the distance, smiled and said, Teacher Zhao, I'm afraid we have to wait a while. Huh? Just when Zhao Wuji was confused, Xiaoqi's teasing voice came from the distance. Big Bear, where are you going? That punch just now was not that good. Zhao Wuji's face suddenly darkened, turned his head and glared at him and said, Boy, if you just lie on the ground like this, you might suffer less physical pain. I only used 5 points of strength just now. As for now, I won't show mercy anymore. Zhao Wuji smiled evilly and rushed towards Xiaoqi at a faster speed. Xiaoqi, who was about to raise his right hand, felt a sharp pain. Although he was mocking the other party just now, the punch Zhao Wuji had hit him on the right arm caused him great damage. If it weren't for the Saiyan blood in his body, he would have been broken by now. Fortunately, this time the distance between him and Zhao Wuji was far enough, giving him enough reaction time to dodge. In the next few rounds of confrontation between the two, although Xiaoqi was completely suppressed and at an absolute disadvantage on the scene, he still didn't let Zhao Wuji hide him again. Boy, weren't you sharp-tongued just now? Why are you dodging like a flea now? Are you going to waste time like this? Zhao Wuji was getting more and more impatient as the fight went on. He found that his opponent had gradually caught up with his speed. Although he still posed no threat to him, if he continued like this, he might be delayed for half an incense stick of time. So he began to provoke him with words, and at the same time deliberately exposed his flaws, waiting for the opponent to take the bait. Xiaoqi, who had no combat experience, naturally did not notice the opponent's intentions. After seeing the opponent's flaw, he attacked the opponent without hesitation. He had been passively beaten and was already full of anger in his heart. This punch gathered all his strength. Sure enough, he took the bait. Zhao Wuji was delighted. When the opponent's fist was only a few inches away from him, he dodged sideways, then clenched his right fist and hit Xiaoqi's abdomen hard. Zhao Wuji did not choose to hit Xiaoqi's head. He was afraid that his punch would kill the opponent directly. In this case, Zhu Zhuqing would definitely not join Shrek Academy again. He did not want the academy to lose a good seedling. Xiaoqi covered her abdomen with both hands, spat out a mouthful of bitter water, and fell straight to the ground. Zhao Wuji was not as careless as before. He stepped on Xiaoqi's back and said, Boy, As long as you take the initiative to admit defeat now, I will let you go. Ahem. You. Dream on, Xiaoqi gasped heavily. No matter whether he was an ordinary person or a Saiyan, he would never surrender to the enemy. Zhao Wuji suddenly exerted force on his feet and said, "Boy, you are still tough. I want to see whether you are tough in your bones or in your words." Ah, the pain of broken bones made Xiaoqi scream out loudly. "Xiaoqi," Zhu Zhuqing yelled, and rushed out. She couldn't bear it any longer. "Zhu Zhuqing, don't even think about saving him." Daimyo Bei, who had been on guard against the situation on Zhu Zhuqing's side, also moved. He was closer to Zhao Wuji and stood in front of Zhu Zhuqing first. "Get out of the way." Zhu Zhuqing's voice was extremely cold, without any emotion. Daimyo Bei suddenly grabbed Zhu Zhuqing's wrist, looked at her viciously and said, "Zhu Zhuqing, who gave you the courage to talk to me like this? Don't forget who you are. Today I will completely destroy him. I will break all his limbs. I want to see if you can stop me." White Tiger, possession. As Daimyo Bei finished speaking, 3 yellow, purple soul rings rose up under his feet one after another, and then he threw Zhu Zhuqing out. Xiaoqi looked at Zhu Zhuqing lying on the ground and her heart was ignited by anger. In extreme anger, a powerful force suddenly erupted from Xiaoqi's body. Chapter 20. The consequences of angering the Saiyans are terrible. Boy, you, Zhao Wuji, who was closest to Xiaoqi, could clearly sense the change taking place within him. This kind of power was something he had never witnessed before. "Get out of the way," Xiaoqi shouted, and a powerful burst of energy sent Zhao Wuji flying. How could this happen? Everyone present was shocked by this sudden change. However, Xiaoqi didn't care what others thought. His only thought was to give Daimyo Bei a good beating. He stood up and rushed towards Daimyo Bei at breakneck speed. "Come on. Today, I'll personally destroy you." Although he had been shocked by Xiaoqi's initial blast, upon closer inspection, it was merely a case of Zhao Wuji's carelessness. With his martial spirit now activated, how could he possibly fear an ordinary person? However, Daimyo Bei's full strength attack was easily dodged by Xiaoqi, who dodged it sideways. He then felt a sharp pain in his abdomen. The next second, Daimyo Bei cried out, spat out a large amount of blood, and collapsed to the ground in agony. "That's the move teacher Zhao just used." Tang San, watching the fight from the sidelines, was shocked. He admitted that he had underestimated Xiaoqi. Not only had she gradually learned the fighting styles of others during the battle, but the power she now unleashed was simply beyond the reach of ordinary people. Having previously fought Daimyo Bei, he knew his strength well, even he couldn't match his strength. Elsewhere, just as Xiaoqi was about to strike Daimyo Bei again, a murderous intent emanated from behind. Zhao Wuji, also possessed by his martial spirit, arrived behind Xiaoqi and attacked him. With a loud bang, Zhao Wuji was sent flying backwards, while Xiaoqi stood there as if nothing had happened. Tang San and Xiao Wu stared wide-eyed, while Linglong covered her mouth, unable to believe what they had just witnessed. All three couldn't comprehend how Zhao Wuji could have struck Xiaoqi, yet the result was this. Although Zhu Zhuqing was also deeply shocked, she had seen a similar scene before in Dragon Ball Z. The Saiyan named Sun Gohan, seeing his father being tortured by rabbits, erupted in rage, unleashing a powerful force. How is this possible? Zhao Wuji, who had risen from the ground, was undoubtedly the most shocked. As the person involved, he knew exactly what had just happened. Just before his attack could reach Xiaoqi, a mysterious force erupted from his body, sending her flying, just like the previous time. Although he didn't know the opponent's method, Zhao Wuji, after being sent flying twice in a row, felt completely humiliated and determined to redeem himself. Second soul skill, Mighty Diamond Palm. Just as Zhao Wuji pronounced the name of his soul skill and prepared to launch it, an angry voice from the sky interrupted him. "Zhao Wuji, stop." The next moment, everyone present saw a giant owl land in front of him. Flanders, Xiaoqi, recognizing the newcomer, positioned herself in front of Zhu Zhuqing. Xiao Wu, recognizing the newcomer, whispered in Tang San's ear, "Third brother, it's that unscrupulous profiteer." Tang San shook his head at Xiao Wu, hushing her. Even he himself didn't know how things would unfold next. "Xiaoqi, who exactly are you?" Tang San turned his gaze to the enigmatic Xiaoqi. "Flanders, you, shut up. Aren't you ashamed enough?" Flanders barked, interrupting Zhao Wuji. He then turned to Daimyo Bei, still lying on the ground, and angrily shouted, "Mu Bei, if you're not dead, Get over here. Daimyubei stumbled to his feet, clutching his abdomen. He glared fiercely at Saiyan and Zhu Zhuqing, then staggered towards Flanders. Daimyubei, I'll let you live a little longer. Once I fully master this power, that will be your death, and that Xiaoqi who wants to destroy me, too. Saiyan had already mentally put them both on his must-kill list. Although he had never killed anyone before, the current situation didn't allow for any naive thoughts. He had considered killing Daimyubei with that previous punch, but he knew that the power had only been a brief burst of anger. If he had done so, he and Zhu Zhuqing would have died here today. He might have been able to escape this fate by traveling back to his own world, but Zhu Zhuqing would have died, an unacceptable outcome. Meanwhile, Flanders loudly berated Xiaoqi and Daimyubei in front of everyone. What are you two still standing here for? Get out of here. You've brought shame upon Shrek Academy. Saiyan found Flanders' pretentiousness amusing. Zhu Zhuqing shouted at Daimyubei's back, Daimyubei, there is no connection between you and me from now on. Zhu Zhuqing, will only marry Saiyan in this life. Hearing this, Daimyubei turned around instantly and said angrily, Zhu Zhuqing, you are looking for death. Daimyubei, get out of here. Believe it or not, I will beat you. After driving Daimyubei away, Flanders came to Saiyan and put on a polite smile, and said, Hello, I am Flanders, the Dean of Shrek Academy. On behalf of Shrek Academy, I apologize to you and your girlfriend for what happened today. If you are willing to stay here, Shrek Academy welcomes you very much and will waive all tuition fees for your girlfriend, and you can be her companion here. In addition, I promise you that what happened today will not happen again. What do you think? Saiyan knew very well what Flanders was thinking. This guy almost wrote on his face the idea of helping Daimyubei to steal my girl. He could now conclude that Flanders had been watching from the shadows, otherwise how could his timing be so coincidental? Although Saiyan was already at the end of his strength and was only able to stand by sheer willpower, he had to get a handle on the other person. Saiyan pretended to think for a moment before saying, if Dean Flanders agrees to let Zhuqing live out, then we're willing to stay. After all, we all need time to recover from what just happened, but don't worry, Zhuqing won't miss her classes. I can guarantee that. Flanders frowned and remained silent for a moment before saying, 1 month. I'll give you a month at most. Shrek Academy is a community, and I won't treat anyone specially. If you can't accept that, then please do as you please. Saiyan smiled and said, okay, a month is plenty. During this time, Zhuqing and I will build good relationships with the students and teachers at the academy. Flanders nodded and said, school starts tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Go get ready, okay, then we'll take our leave. Saiyan briefly said hello to Flanders and the others before leaving with Zhu Zhuqing. They still had to put on a good show. A month would be enough time for his strength to improve dramatically. When that time came, he would ask Flanders if he regretted his decision. Bye, I can only help you up to this point. After that, it depends on whether you can win the other person back. Flanders sighed inwardly as he watched Saiyan and Zhu Zhuqing leave. Chapter 21, The Saiyan's appetite is beyond imagination. Outside Shrek Academy, Saiyan stopped and took Zhu Zhuqing's hand to examine her. Seeing the red mark on her wrist, a surge of rage rose within him. Damn Daimyubei. When I become stronger, I'll be the first to punish him. Zhu Zhuqing looked at Saiyan's stained clothes and felt a strange pang of sadness. Unable to resist, she leaned her head against Saiyan's chest and said gently, I don't want to hear that man's name right now. From now on, he's him, and I'm me. There's nothing between him and me, I understand. Get up first. I'm dirty, can you give me a sausage? I can't hold on any longer. Saiyan's words were incoherent. This was the first time in her life that a girl had held her in her arms, and she was terrified. Zhu Zhuqing was startled. Saiyan's bravery had made her forget the terrible beating she'd received from Xiaoqi. After devouring 3 sausages, Saiyan felt her strength return slightly, but hunger quickly followed. While sausages might fill a normal person, they wouldn't even fill a gap in his stomach for a Saiyan like him. Saiyan looked at Zhu Zhuqing eagerly and said, Zhuqing, I'm starving. Let's go eat. Zhu Zhuqing smiled faintly, took Saiyan's arm, and said, okay, I'm hungry too. Saiyan had become accustomed to Zhu Zhuqing's arm by now. Just as they took a few steps outside, Linglong called out from behind. Zhu Zhuqing said calmly, I don't want to be disturbed. Okay, then we'll run. Xiaoqi said, and she took the lead. Zhu Zhuqing smiled at Xiaoqi's back and then chased after her. Ningrongrong stamped her foot in anger, angrily saying, "It's all the damn Flanders' fault for wasting so much of my time. Otherwise, I would have caught up with them long ago." Ningrongrong's interest had been piqued when she saw that Xiaoqi and Zhu Zhuqing could live outside. So she approached Flanders to share her thoughts, only to be ruthlessly rejected, even with a long list of arguments. Furious, Ningrongrong left mid-sentence, determined to find Xiaoqi, whose secrets intrigued her. "Don't even think about getting rid of me, you two. I'll find you even if I have to search all of Soto City." Meanwhile, Xiaoqi and Zhu Zhuqing, arriving in Soto City, headed straight for the city's most upscale restaurant. Upon entering, Xiaoqi immediately ordered everything on the menu. He was starving. Xiaoqi's ordering method bewildered the waiter, who hesitated to serve the dishes. After all, Xiaoqi didn't look wealthy in any way. Zhu Zhuqing, with a stern expression, tossed out a few gold soul coins and said, "Serve as quickly as possible." "Yes, yes, I'll go and arrange it for you, my lords." The waiter bowed his head, knowing that anyone who could afford so many gold soul coins was no ordinary person and couldn't afford to offend. As plates of food were brought to the table, Xiaoqi placed various fish dishes in front of Zhu Zhuqing. "All right, let's eat," Xiaoqi said, eagerly digging in. Having just finished a battle, he felt incredibly hungry and had no intention of stopping. After finishing his meal, Zhu Zhuqing briefly shared the outcome of the battle with the others in the group chat, then sat and watched Xiaoqi eat. As she devoured each plate of food, Zhu Zhuqing couldn't help but marvel at the Saiyan's formidable appetite. This single meal probably ate enough for 3 days. "Xiaoqi, I finally found you." Just then, Ningrongrong, who had found her, beamed with joy at the sight of Xiaoqi, quickly approaching and sitting down beside him. However, Xiaoqi had no intention of paying any attention to Ningrongrong. No one could stop him from eating. Zhu Zhuqing was speechless at Ningrongrong's persistent pursuit, but she didn't say anything. Ningrongrong watched Xiaoqi devour her meal and suddenly felt a little hungry herself. She asked the waiter for a few more dishes and then began to dig in. "Finally, I'm full." So refreshing. After a hearty meal, Xiaoqi patted his stomach contentedly. He finally understood why Saiyans had such large appetites. Besides their different physiques, Saiyans could also replenish their energy through food. He felt like he could have another battle with Zhao. Ningrongrong, standing by, was stunned. She had never seen anyone eat so much, even more than an animal. Xiaoqi sat for a moment to relax before saying, "Zhuqing, let's find a hotel first, then go practice. As for you, Ningrongrong, we've already eaten. You can go back to Shrek Academy." Zhu Zhuqing nodded. Meanwhile, Ningrongrong, looking displeased, said, "I'm going with you too. Shrek Academy is boring, and I don't want to go back right now." Xiaoqi said angrily, "Zhuqing and I are going to get a room. Why are you following us? Are you watching the live broadcast?" Zhu Zhuqing blushed and calmly stepped on her foot under the table. Ningrongrong smiled and said, "It's okay. I can get another room and wait for you. Just come find me when you're done." "Ningrongrong, you're such a genius." Xiaoqi was speechless, and Zhu Zhuqing's face darkened. But no matter how Xiaoqi tried to persuade her, Ningrongrong was determined to stay with him, and in the end, she had no choice but to let her go. After the three of them left the restaurant, Zhu Zhuqing first took Xiaoqi shopping for some clothes, presumably to let her experience the culture of Daluo continent. When Xiaoqi emerged dressed in her Daluo continent attire, the two women were stunned by her appearance. Initially planning to buy just one piece, Xiaoqi was forced to change into several more outfits. After leaving the clothing store, the three of them headed straight to the Rose Hotel. As the most popular and renowned hotel in the area, Xiaoqi had to check in. When they arrived at the counter to book a room, there was no drama, and Zhu Zhuqing was easily booked. As promised, Ningrongrong booked a room next to Xiaoqi and Zhu Zhuqing's, booking it for the entire month. As she put it, the last thing the Seven Treasures glazed tile sect needed was money. Xiaoqi looked at Ningrongrong and said, "Zhuqing and I are going to practice. You can go to the room and play by yourself." "Huh?" Ningrongrong was stunned. They hadn't even entered the room yet, so why were they going to practice? "Shouldn't you go to the room to make out first? What's the fun of her going to the room alone? Is she going to play with herself?" When Linglong came to her senses, she found that Xiaoqi and Zhu Zhuqing had already walked out of the hotel, so she hurriedly chased after them. You two wait for me, I'll go practice with you. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22 First Day Point Settlement. Xiaoqi, Zhu Zhuqing, and Linglong, who accompanied them, arrived at an open space on the outskirts of Soto City. There, they would conduct combat training. Xiaoqi's previous fight with Xiaoqi had made him realize how inexperienced he was. Basic training could be done anytime, but opportunities to fight were rare. Xiaoqi looked at Zhu Zhuqing and said, Zhuqing, attack me with your best skill. Zhu Zhuqing nodded and immediately activated her martial spirit. Her greatest strength was, of course, speed. Begin. Xiaoqi finished speaking, her eyes fixed on Zhu Zhuqing's every movement. The next second, Zhu Zhuqing moved, a trail of faint shadows as she moved. So fast, Xiaoqi was startled. His vision couldn't accurately capture the opponent's exact position, and he was unsurprisingly struck by Zhu Zhuqing's sharp claws, though Zhu Zhuqing didn't use much force. After the successful strike, Zhu Zhuqing and Xiaoqi put some distance between them and shifted left and right, preparing for a second attack. This time, Xiaoqi had learned from his previous mistakes. Since he couldn't keep up with Zhu Zhuqing's movements for the time being, he simply gave up and focused on his five senses, carefully sensing the movements around him. No matter which direction Zhu Zhuqing attacked him, the air around her would fluctuate the instant she struck, and he needed to seize that moment to dodge. At first, Xiaoqi could only dodge once out of 5 attempts, and even that was somewhat due to luck. But as time went on, Xiaoqi found himself gradually mastering the technique, and his dodging success rate began to improve. After successfully dodging Zhu Zhuqing's claws again, Xiaoqi smiled and said, Zhuqing, you seem to have slowed down. HMPH, Zhu Zhuqing snorted. Her speed hadn't changed at all, it was Xiaoqi who had adapted to her speed in a short time. While she could still hit Xiaoqi, it was far less effortless than at the beginning. Xiaoqi walked up to Zhu Zhuqing and smiled, I know that it was our kind-hearted Zhuqing who gave in to me just now. If this was a battlefield, I don't know how many times I would have been killed by you. You're so funny. Zhu Zhuqing turned her head away and ignored her, but there was a faint smile on the corner of her mouth. Linglong, who had been watching the fight on the side, saw the two of them stop and walked up to them and said, Xiaoqi, you are really a freak. You are definitely not an ordinary person, Xiaoqi said unhappily. Linglong, if you don't know how to praise people, just shut up. Also, if I am not an ordinary person, what else can I be? Do you feel any soul power fluctuations on me? That's right. Linglong nodded first, but then shook her head and said, no, how can an ordinary person be as strong as you? Even Teacher Zhao, the soul saint, was knocked away by you, not to mention Daimyo who vomited blood after being punched by you. Linglong, if you are bored, use your 7 treasures glazed tower to assist Zhuqing later. Xiaoqi quickly changed the subject. He knew that Zhu Zhuqing didn't want to hear the name Daimyo, and he wanted to increase his strength next. Linglong smiled and said, okay, but you all have to take me with you when you practice from now on. It's more fun to play with you. Xiaoqi didn't rush to answer Linglong, but instead looked at Zhu Zhuqing. He wouldn't be staying here forever. So everything depended on her opinion. Zhu Zhuqing nodded. There was nothing wrong with just practicing with him. Yeah, that's great, Linglong cheered, then looked at Xiaoqi and said, then I'll begin. The 7 treasures have a name. Strength, the 7 treasures have a name. Speed, as 2 beams of light enveloped Zhu Zhuqing, Xiaoqi said, Zhuqing, attack me with the intention of killing me. I want to test my limits. Zhu Zhuqing hesitated at first, but then thought better of it and nodded. After all, Xiaoqi couldn't be treated like an ordinary person. Zhuqing, let's stop here for today. I'm exhausted. Xiaoqi lay on the ground, panting unruly. With the 7 treasures glazed pagoda as support, Zhu Zhuqing was a completely different person than before. Furthermore, with the opponent holding back, his energy consumption was immense. Saiyans are all freaks, Zhu Zhuqing muttered inwardly, wiping the sweat from her forehead. She, too, was exhausted. Ningrongrong crouched before Zhu Zhuqing, admiringly saying, "Zhu Zhuqing, can you tell me who you are?" I promised to keep it a secret. She had imagined that Zhu Zhuqing, with her support, would absolutely crush the opponent. That was how things started, but then something started to go wrong. Just like before, Zhu Zhuqing gradually matched Zhu Zhuqing's moves, and by the end, they were even engaging in a back-and-forth exchange. It was simply unbelievable. Zhu Zhuqing said, "I'm just an ordinary person." Ningrongrong snorted, "Stingy. I'll make you tell me one day." After the three of them rested for a while and returned to Soto City for a simple dinner, Zhu Zhuqing asked Ningrongrong to return to Shrek Academy early, citing the dangers of the night. He and Zhu Zhuqing returned to the Rose Hotel. "Zhuqing, it's getting late. I'm going home now." She hadn't felt anything when they were outside before, but now, alone in the room with Zhu Zhuqing, Zhu Zhuqing felt a little overwhelmed. "You can stay here." Zhu Zhuqing's voice was as soft as a mosquito's. After spending the day together, she felt safe with Zhu Zhuqing, and she trusted that Zhu Zhuqing wouldn't do anything frivolous to her. "Well, I suddenly remembered I have some clothes to pack. I'll see you tomorrow morning," Zhu Zhuqing said, without giving Zhu Zhuqing a chance to speak, and disappeared. Zhu Zhuqing watched the other person flee and smiled, muttering to himself, "So even Saiyans can be afraid sometimes." Meanwhile, Zhu Zhuqing, having returned to his own world, quickly took a cold shower to calm himself. If he stayed any longer, there was a risk of an accidental shooting. Lying in bed, not feeling sleepy, Zhu Zhuqing opened the group chat and began chatting with his friends, eagerly anticipating how many points he would earn at midnight. As midnight arrived, the chat group promptly announced the list of those who had changed the plot today, along with the points awarded. Reminder: group member Zhu Zhuqing successfully changed the plot, earning 5,000 points. Reminder: group member Nami successfully changed the plot, earning 4,000 points. Reminder: group member Zhu Zhuqing successfully changed the plot, earning 3,000 points. Chapter 23, The Lottery is about metaphysics. Nami: "Yeah, great. Now I finally have enough points to watch One Piece." Linglong: "At Nami, you're so good. You actually changed the plot all by yourself without telling us." Sakata Gintoki: "How can you do that? It's shameful to eat all the cakes alone. Today, you must comfort my wounded heart." Jin-san: "Nami, I'm just trying it out. And I didn't trigger any story quests this time, so I can't invite you." Zhu Zhuqing: "Did you get Kaya on board?" "That's the only possibility I can think of." Sakata Gintoki: "What?" Jin-san: "I've always loved this character." Linglong: "Jin-san, that's enough. You always like beautiful girls. How can you be so fickle?" Sakata Gintoki: No. Linglong, you misunderstood. Jin-san: "I still love you guys the most. You're all my angels." Sakuragi Hanamichi: "Amazing." Zhu Zhuqing: "Dirty." Nami: "At Zhu Zhuqing, you're right. I asked Luffy to bring Kaya on board." Sakata Gintoki: "Nami-san, when you enter the Grand Line, get Princess Vivi on board as well. Of course, it would be even better if you could get Empress Hancock on board. She's my favorite female character in One Piece." Jin-san: "Zhu Zhuqing, at Sakata Gintoki, didn't you say last time that your favorite person is Nami?" Linglong: Yes. I remember Jin-san said that when he first joined the group." Sakata Gintoki: "Kikexu, the two of you shouldn't be taking it too far. Nami is Nami, and the Empress is the Empress. Jin-san can like both of them at the same time." Linglong: "Only you, Jin-san, can talk about being a playboy so confidently." Nami: "I won't believe a single word that white-haired guy says." Nami: "But after I finish watching One Piece, I'll consider inviting them both aboard." Zhu Zhuqing: "So you've decided to stay with the Straw Hat Pirates?" Nami: "Yeah, I originally thought about going out to sea on my own, but this sea is too dangerous for me, and the Straw Hat Pirates suit me pretty well." Zhu Zhuqing: "That's fine too. You can change your mind after you finish watching the story." Linglong: "Seeing you all earn points makes me jealous. I'm going to find Zhang Jiulin tomorrow. I want some points too." Zhu Zhuqing: "If you ask him to guard your uterus tomorrow, I'm sure you'll get a lot of points." Linglong: "Damn it. I'm just going to get to know him first and tell him a few things." Sakuragi Hanamichi: "Brother Sue, I got my hair cut this afternoon like you asked, and then I'm taking basketball lessons. What should I do next? Xiaoqi, you're pretty efficient. Have you watched Slam Dunk, Sakuragi Hanamichi, including today's Sunin? I only have 11 points in total. Xiaoqi, Sakata Gintoki, I didn't expect there's someone worse off than Jin-san. Jin-san hasn't even collected 100 points in 3 days. Linglong, you're all this miserable. Hint. Xiaoqi sends a red envelope to Sakuragi Hanamichi. Xiaoqi, Sakuragi, since you call me big brother, I have to take care of you. The 100 points in here are enough for you to watch Slam Dunk. Sakuragi Hanamichi, thank you, big brother Su, you're such a good person. Sakata Gintoki, big brother, please support me. Jin-san knows a lot. Xiaoqi, get lost. I don't like men. My sexual orientation is normal. Hint. Nami sends a red envelope to Xiaoqi. Nami, we agreed to give you 30%. Hint. Zhu Zhuqing sends a red envelope to Xiaoqi. Zhu Zhuqing, I didn't do much, so half is enough. Sakata Gintoki, envy caused Jin-san's plasmolysis. Xiaoqi, I appreciate your kindness. At Nami, I don't want the points. If you can consider me next time you trigger a story mission, of course, I don't need the points. I just want to find someone to fight. Xiaoqi, Zhuqing, I wouldn't have been unable to earn these points without you inviting me. Nami, sure, but whatever points you earn are yours. Zhu Zhuqing, I'll save them for you. Linglong, tisk, 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 it's nice to have someone who cares about you. Sakata Gintoki, Linglong, Jin-san will care about you too. Jin-san will go watch Under One Person soon. Linglong, thank you. While the others were chatting animatedly, Xiaoqi had already quietly clicked on the lottery icon. He already had enough points for 10 consecutive draws. Heaven and earth, bless me with 10 consecutive payouts. As was customary, Xiaoqi offered a prayer before starting her draw. After taking a deep breath of divine energy, Xiaoqi nervously pressed the 10 draw button. Hint. Congratulations to Xiaoqi for earning 500 points. Hint. Congratulations to Xiaoqi for earning 100 points. Hint. Congratulations to Xiaoqi for receiving a pair of Kasumage Aokiyuta's original black stockings. Hint. Congratulations to Xiaoqi for receiving a Beretta M92F pistol specifically designed for Jin. Hint. Congratulations to Xiaoqi for receiving a 10-pack of Sophie's nighttime type pistols. Hint. Congratulations to Xiaoqi for receiving a Moon Step skill card from the One Piece world. Hint. Congratulations to Xiaoqi for earning 1000 points. Hint. Congratulations to Xiaoqi for receiving an original Hancock Cheongsam. Hint. Congratulations to Xiaoqi for receiving his Enpakudo Gogun from the Bleach world. Hint. Congratulations to Xiaoqi for winning the Kuraka's Basketball World Perfect Imitation skill card. Xiaoqi's mouth twitched after he collected all the items he'd drawn. While there were quite a few random items, overall, he'd made quite a bit of money from this round of draws. The Zanpakudo alone was worth 40,000 points in the chat group mall. Sakata Gintoki, at Xiaoqi, big brother, you'll be Jin-san's real big brother from now on. Jin-san, I'll trade you the Cheongsam Kagura-chan is wearing today for Hancock's Cheongsam. Xiaoqi. Sakata Gintoki, add a pair of Tao's old lady's original panties, and Jin-san's gonna steal it now. Xiaoqi, get out of here. Why would I need that? Sakata Gintoki, Takakio, you better take care of him. He'll definitely end up with Hancock's Cheongsam when he goes to sleep. You don't want him doing that behind your back, do you? Xiaoqi, you're such a jerk. Do you think Zhuqing will believe you? Zhu Zhuqing, I'll keep this Cheongsam for you. Xiaoqi. Zhu Zhuqing, what? Are you feeling guilty? Linglong, Sister Zhuqing, and that black stocking too. You might not realize how much it attracts men. Hint. Xiaoqi sends Linglong a red envelope. Linglong, do you think sending me a red envelope will? Wait, what did you send me? Xiaoqi, these are the things you girls need every month. No need to thank me. Linglong, you, why don't you send it to Zhuqing? Xiaoqi, she's young and doesn't need it for now. You need it so much every month. Linglong, go to hell, Sister Zhuqing. I advise you to take good care of him. Sakata Gintoki, that's right. Hand over Hancock's Cheongsam now. Hint. Xiaoqi sends a red envelope to Zhu Zhuqing. Xiaoqi, it's just black stockings and a cheongsam. I don't feel bad at all. Xiaoqi, Zhuqing, that moon step skill suits you quite well. I'll explain the specific effects to you when I come over this morning. Zhu Zhuqing, okay. Xiaoqi, at Sakuragi Hanamichi, Sakuragi, if you're determined to play basketball, I'll give you this perfect imitation skill card. Sakuragi Hanamichi, okay, big brother, thank you. Xiaoqi, okay, everyone, it's getting late. I'm going to bed first. You should all get some rest early too. Xiaoqi, at Linglong, by the way, those I just gave you are for night use. You can use them right now. Linglong, get out of here. Thanks to my fellow reader Meow Meow Star for the monthly ticket. Chapter 24 The Use of Ki. Zhuqing, good morning. Xiaoqi, arriving bright and early in the morning in the Dalo continent world, yawned and greeted Zhu Zhuqing. Good morning. Zhu Zhuqing nodded. Seeing the noticeable dark circles under his eyes, she couldn't help but ask, did you get up all night? She now had reason to suspect that her confiscation of his cheongsam and black stockings had caused his sleepless night. Xiaoqi sighed helplessly. He had spent the night debating whether to sell the divine spear, his Zanpakuto, to the chat group and continue the lottery. Having already tasted the sweetness of winning, he wanted to get rich quick, but reason reminded him that lotteries were a trap, with a potential for overnight losses. Xiaoqi, consumed by this immense dilemma, couldn't sleep. Zhu Zhuqing covered her mouth and smiled, saying, if you want to draw, go ahead. You can earn points later. Why don't we just change up the plot a little bit today, Zhuqing? This lottery thing isn't about points, it's more about messing with people's minds. Xiaoqi gave Zhu Zhuqing an example. His former roommate was initially quite restrained in his quest to win a limited edition skin, but then he got carried away and blew all his pocket money into it. He ended up trying every other skin but couldn't win that one, so he threw his phone in a rage. Zhu Zhuqing thought for a moment and said, if you trust me, you can leave some of your points with me. That way, you won't get carried away. Good idea, let's do that. If it were Sakata Gintoki, Xiaoqi wouldn't trust him with his points. He'd be the type to throw meat buns at a dog, never to return. But Zhu Zhuqing was different. Her character was trustworthy. Xiaoqi sold his Zanpakuto, divine spear, to the chat group mall, receiving 36,000 points after a 10% tax. He then kept 10,000 points for himself and gave the rest to Zhu Zhuqing in a red envelope. Heaven and earth, bless me with 10 consecutive payouts. Zhu Zhuqing was amused by Xiaoqi's pre-draw prayer. She hadn't expected such a lovely side to him. Xiaoqi took a deep breath and plunked down 10,000 points at once. Hint, congratulations, Xiaoqi, for earning 300 points. Hint, congratulations, Xiaoqi, for earning 500 points. In 20 draws, the points prompt appeared 13 times, for a total of 2,500 points. The remaining 7 items were, a water pipe depicting Sabo from the One Piece universe, 10 facial masks identical to those of Kuro from the Detective Conan universe, 5 Ichiriko ramen vouchers from the Naruto universe, a 1 lifelike figurine of Kurumi Takisaki, a tornado charger identical to that of Hashimagu, a skill card for the new self-realm from the Prince of Tennis universe, and a 50,000-year-old left leg bone of the Akagi demon leopard. Xiaoqi's face fell as she looked at these things. The most valuable item was the one lifelike figurine of Kurumi Takisaki, or rather, the 50,000-year-old left leg bone of the Akagi demon leopard. Zhuqing, I want more. No, Zhu Zhuqing interrupted, but seeing the pitiful look Xiaoqi gave him, her heart softened. She said, I'll give you another 3,000 points. No matter what you draw, you're not allowed to draw again today, okay? All you say. Xiaoqi's face lit up instantly. He already knew why he hadn't gotten anything good just now. It was because he hadn't inhaled a breath of celestial energy before drawing again. After accepting the red envelope Zhu Zhuqing had given him, Xiaoqi walked over to her and took a deep breath of celestial energy. Not to mention, Zhu Zhuqing smelled quite pleasant. This action made Zhu Zhuqing blush, and after hearing her explanation, she angrily called him childish. After completing all the preparations, Xiaoqi pressed the icon for the 10-draw combo again. Hint, congratulations to Xiaoqi for obtaining a skill card for utilizing celestial energy from the Dragon Ball universe. Oh my god, it's out. It's out. Xiaoqi excitedly picked Zhu Zhuqing up, shouting non-stop. This skill was a huge bonus for him at this stage. Zhu Zhuqing was initially shy as Xiaoqi held her tightly, but then her brows furrowed. He had no control over the force as he spun her in the air, and she felt like her waist was about to break. Can you guys next door keep the noise down? They're making such a fuss so early in the morning, can't you let me sleep? The sudden shouting froze Xiaoqi in place. Looking at Zhu Zhuqing so close, she swallowed hard and couldn't help but exclaim, Zhuqing, you're so beautiful. Zhu Zhuqing shyly lowered her head. Even though she had heard Xiaoqi's various compliments yesterday, this time it felt completely different. Just as the atmosphere between them was growing increasingly intimate, a series of rapid knocks sounded outside the door. I'll go see who it is. Xiaoqi quickly released Zhu Zhuqing from her arms and scurried out of the room. Zhu Zhuqing rubbed her flushed face. If Xiaoqi had really wanted to do something to her, she wondered if she would have refused. A short while later, Xiaoqi returned to the room and looked at Zhu Zhuqing. He knocked on the wrong door. I sent him away. Zhu Zhuqing nodded and said, do you want to finish looking at the items you just drew? Oh, okay. Xiaoqi then remembered that she had been too excited to see what the other items were. In addition to the Chi Utilization skill card, the points prompt appeared 6 times, for a total of 1,500 points. The remaining 3 items were a serving of Xiaodajia's special magic Mapo Tofu, a special shovel for Feng Bao Bao, and a pair of single Magatama Sharingan. Xiaoqi extracted the 50,000-year-old left leg bone of the Kongming demon leopard and handed it to Zhu Zhuqing, saying, Zhuqing, although this soul bone is only 50,000 years old, it is very suitable for you and can greatly increase your speed. If he remembered correctly, the left leg bone of the Kongming demon leopard that Hou Hao absorbed in Daluo Dalu 2 was also 10,000 years old, but he didn't know the exact age. Zhu Zhuqing shook her head and said, I can't take anything from you anymore. You should sell it to the mall for points. Xiaoqi pressed the spirit bone into her hand and smiled. Why are we being so polite? Just let me absorb a few more breaths of immortal energy during my next draw. Zhu Zhuqing's face flushed again at the mention of immortal energy, but this time she didn't refuse. From now on, I'll keep all my points for you. If you don't accept, I won't take this spirit bone. Xiaoqi, helpless, had to agree. While Zhu Zhuqing was absorbing the spirit bone, she spent 1,000 points to learn the Chi control skill according to the instructions on the skill card. It was worth it. Xiaoqi's eyes lit up. All the information on Chi control was etched in her mind. From now on, she only needed to practice to freely manipulate this energy. Glancing at Zhu Zhuqing, who was still absorbing the spirit bone, Xiaoqi couldn't help but pull out a lifelike figurine of Kurumi Takisuki. Oh wow, it's that gothic twin-tail look. Love it. Zhu Zhuqing, who had just opened her eyes after absorbing the soul bone, was about to share her joy at reaching level 30 with Xiaoqi, but she saw her back to her, reaching out to touch the face of a girl. Xiaoqi, what are you doing? Chapter 25, Oscar, listen to my advice, you can't control this woman. Xiaoqi's outstretched hand froze in place. She turned and gave Zhu Zhuqing an awkward smile, saying, Zhuqing, I just wanted to see what material it's made of. I have absolutely no other intentions. Zhu Zhuqing sneered, her face expressionless. If I had opened my eyes any later, I would have seen you holding her. Xiaoqi quickly explained, I really just wanted to see what material it's made of. This thing looks so much like a real person, I was just a little curious. Really? Zhu Zhuqing internally wondered. In terms of figure, hers was much better than that mannequin. He hadn't taken advantage of her just now, so there was no need to do anything to a mannequin now. Xiaoqi held up 3 fingers and said seriously, I swear, forget it this time, but leave her with me. Zhu Zhuqing felt like she was turning into a recycling bin. From the black stockings and cheongsam to the mannequin, the clutter in her place was increasing. Goodbye, Sanson. Although our time together was short, I will remember you. Xiaoqi silently said goodbye to Takisuki Kurumi in her heart, nodded to Zhu Zhuqing and said, no problem, all up to you. By the way, how many levels did you reach after absorbing the spirit bone? Zhu Zhuqing smiled faintly and said, level 30. As long as I absorb the spirit ring, I can become a spirit master. And the spirit bone is really suitable for me. It will be very helpful to me in actual combat. Xiaoqi smiled and said, congratulations, Zhuqing. Now is the time to learn the moon step skill. That way, if you go to the Great Soul Arena tonight and fight Tang Sen, You will definitely not lose, Zhu Zhuqing exclaimed after learning the method of the moon step according to Xiaoqi's instructions. Amazing. It's too easy. Xiaoqi stepped forward and took her hand, saying, "Come on, let's find a deserted place outside to try it out. Then we can have some breakfast and go to Shrek Academy. It's the first day of school, so there are many places to get involved." Okay, Zhu Zhuqing didn't mind Xiaoqi holding her hand at all. They had already hugged each other, so holding hands was nothing. After the two arrived at the place where they had fought yesterday, Zhu Zhuqing began to practice using the moon step. When she successfully walked on air for the first time, she couldn't help but feel excited. Xiaoqi also began to try to use ki. Although she could only control a little bit of ki, she was also very excited. The two practiced for about an hour, returned to Soto City, had breakfast, and then went to Shrek Academy. When the two of them appeared on the playground, several other Shrek Academy students were already standing there. Ningrongrong waved to them from a distance. "Oh, I didn't expect another beauty to come, and she has such a great figure." Mo Hongjin's eyes lit up when he saw Zhu Zhuqing's hot body, but when he saw her holding hands with a man next to her, he curled his lips and said, "It's a pity that she already has a man." Dai Bei on the side snorted coldly and said, "Fatty, if you like her, go after her. That man is just an ordinary person and is not your opponent." Mo Hongjin said unhappily, "Boss Dai, don't try to fool me. I know everything about yesterday, even you were knocked out by his punch, let alone me. Beautiful women are nice, but you have to be alive to pick them up, useless thing." Dai Bei cursed in his heart. He really wanted to instigate Ma Hongjin and Xiaoqi to fight, but he didn't expect the other party to suddenly get it today. Ningrongrong ran up and greeted them with a smile, saying, "Xiaoqi, Zhuqing, you're finally here." Oscar followed closely and said, "Brother, I heard about what happened yesterday. You're really awesome. By the way, do you still want some sausages? I'll treat you." Xiaoqi looked at Oscar and smiled and said, "I didn't expect you to be so generous after shaving. Then I'll give you 10 sausages to start with." Oscar's face fell when he heard this, and he begged, "Brother, can you ask for less? Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll be ruined again today." When Oscar made a sausage and handed it to Xiaoqi, he whispered, "Brother, can you talk to me for a moment?" "Okay." Xiaoqi nodded. He probably guessed what the other party was going to say to him. He turned his head and looked at Zhu Zhuqing and said, "Zhuqing, go talk to Ningrongrong first." Zhu Zhuqing nodded, let go of the other party's hand and came to Ningrongrong's side. "Thanks. Come find me anytime you want sausages in the future." Oscar thanked Xiaoqi and then whispered, "Brother, we also know a little about the feud between you, your girlfriend and Boss Dai, but don't worry, I personally will not get involved in this matter, but I want to ask you for a favor." Xiaoqi said with a smile, "You don't want me to help you pursue Ningrongrong, do you?" "How did you know?" Oscar exclaimed with wide eyes, then quickly lowered his voice and said, "Since you can see it, I won't hide it from you. I do like girls like Ningrongrong, but she seems to be very close to you. You already have Zhu Zhuqing, you won't compete with me for her, right?" Xiaoqi smiled and patted Oscar on the shoulder and said, "Brother, listen to my advice. You can't control a girl like Ningrongrong. You also know that she is from the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect, but do you know what they require in choosing a partner?" Oscar shook his head and said, "I don't know." Xiaoqi said, "Their first requirement for a partner is that the other party must be a combat soul master, not a support soul master." "Of course, I only heard about it. If you really want to pursue her, you can give it a try. I personally have no interest in her. A Zhuqing is usually quite fierce, and I wouldn't dare look for another woman outside." Oscar felt a little downcast after hearing this, but he still said to Xiaoqi, "Thank you for the reminder. I'll go find her myself to confirm it." Xiaoqi patted his shoulder again and said, "Since you treated me to sausage, I have a message for you. There are many more beautiful women in the world, so why should you be so single-minded in your love for one?" "I understand." Oscar turned his head and glanced at Ningrongrong, then quietly walked away. Xiaoqi shook her head. He said this partly to change the plot and gain points, and partly because he sincerely felt that the two of them were not suitable for each other. With his involvement in the plot, Tang San's hope of becoming a god was basically lost. Without Oscar's achievements as described in the original novel, would Ning Fengzi still be interested in him? Ning Fengzi despised Oscar from the bottom of his heart. At least half of the reason he finally agreed was because of his relationship with Tang-san. Just as Xiaoqi was thinking about these things, a cold voice came from behind him. So this is how you usually look at me? Am I very mean to you? Oh no, Xiaoqi was shocked. He didn't know how Zhu Zhuqing heard what he just said, but he knew that he had to find a way to coax her again. However, before he could speak, Flanders came from the other direction of the playground. Unlike the original, this time he did not come alone. There were several people following him. Thank you to the passers-by who liked the novel for the reward, and thank you to my friends for your continued support. Thank you to the book friend 20241009090815558 for the monthly ticket. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.